and I approve this message.
Paid for by Schnelting from Missouri.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A week out till Election Day, Gianna Gelosi, Fox News, former President Donald Trump hammering his opponent at a speech in Palm Beach.
In less than 4 years, Kamala Harris has obliterated our borders. Obliterated. We've never had a situation like this.
The former president now heading to Allentown, Pennsylvania for a rally, while Vice President Kamala Harris will hit back later tonight, driving home her belief that Trump is a fascist. She'll be delivering her closing remarks today from the Ellipse in Washington, D.C. It's the patch of park where former President Trump rallied supporters on that January 6th. And former President Barack Obama campaigned for Vice President Kamala Harris in Pennsylvania yesterday, advocating for the vice president's economic plan.
Kamala's has plans to go after corporations that unfairly jack up prices. She has plans to make it easier for you to build and buy a home. She's got plans to limit out-of-pocket health care costs.
The latest Fox News power rankings show Trump up on the economy and immigration, but Harris up on abortion. Presidents past and present aren't the only notable names out on the campaign trail.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama will join Governor Tim Walz at a rally in Georgia. The Peach State has been known for its booming film industry, so it's not a major surprise to see Hollywood actors like Tyler Perry and Kerry Washington joining the Harris campaign there as well. Former President Trump has seen his share of celebrities on the campaign trail, including country singers Jason Aldean in Georgia and Lee Greenwood in New York City. Pittsburgh Steelers greats Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown have also joined the former president for rallies in Pennsylvania, where he'll be this weekend attending the Ohio State-Penn State football game in State College. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Nothing feeling like October at all this afternoon. Sunny, 84 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy, and warm. Only 69 for the low. Wednesday, keeping it windy and warm. Lots of sunshine, 82. Here come showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms after midnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then slow clearing Thursday afternoon. It is dry for trick or treat. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com. At Hampton Manor of Wentzville, they go the extra step to make sure their residents feel special. Mark Cox here from my friends at Hampton Manor. I recently stopped by there. You know, their veterans are celebrated with special recognitions, including special pastries created by their pastry chef. They have their own private chef. They'll even feed you lunch if you stop by for a visit at this great senior living community off the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. Schedule your appointment today at WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for tuning in to 97.1 FM Talk. We're glad you're here. And we are a week away from Election Day, which means we are probably 8 days away, hopefully, God willing, of knowing who is going to be the next president of the United States. It will be different. The incumbent is not running, but I don't know. He's not incumbent. He's not there right now. So Trump is not an incumbent.
Okay, I didn't know if you were talking about Trump or Joe Biden. Joe Biden is also not there.
Joe Biden is not. Joe Biden is a non-factor in everything. Why is this not a bigger story? We don't know where the president of the United States is. I saw a tweet, and gosh, I wish I could think of who this was to give appropriate credit to that person who tweeted it out. But isn't it pretty unbelievable that the president of the United States is MIA? That we don't see the president, we don't hear the president. When he does show up, it's very casual, prepared remarks that he kind of muddles his own way through when he talks, and then he sticks his foot in his mouth.
The idea that Kamala's opponent is talking to Putin and discussing what should be done, I mean, anyway, I'm not...
So what that Kamala's opponent is talking with Putin is anyway. He doesn't know what he's doing. This is not a guy, if he were running for office, which is why he's not right now, nobody would vote for this. Nobody would look at, maybe simply because you have this unexplicable, unsuppressible hatred for Donald Trump, but that's the only reason you're voting for that guy. When you listen to him, he can't string sentences together that are paired with actual thoughts of his own. He's got a pre-program that goes into what he does and says when he does go out and about, and he tries to deliver those marks, and he can't. How bizarre is it that the United States of America can completely function without a functional president of the United States? And if you don't like the way the country is headed right now, just understand they don't need the current president to have his wits about him. They certainly won't need the next president to have her wits about her should she get in there, because they can do it without her. You want to change in the direction of the country? Do you want less of the same? Do you want more of what it felt like 4 years ago? You have a very clear and distinct choice in front of you. And if you vote for Kamala Harris, nothing will change to the better for you, because the same people will continue to operate the government. Is Joe Biden making any decisions right now?
I can't imagine that he is or could. There's just, practically speaking, you listen to the guy speak and you go, there's just no way that he is commanding any sort of authority with even the people around him. So no.
They literally tell him where to walk and when to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, and the other thing is, I do not need to explain this to you. Ryan doesn't need to explain this to you. You don't need to like listen to what we say so that you can get a better understanding of the functional capabilities of the President of the United States. Everybody knows what this looks like. Everybody has seen loved ones grow old. Everybody has seen loved ones grow old at different times. You've seen people who shockingly deteriorated in health, maybe with their mental faculties in their 50s and 60s. And you've seen people be in their 90s and whip smart. It happens differently with everybody. But you know it when you see it. Everybody knows it when they see it. Everybody knows, like, you're looking for when mom and dad are indicating any signs whatsoever that they maybe shouldn't have the car keys. You're working hard on making sure that you take care of your parents. You love them. You want to protect them. And you're like a hawk trying to make sure that when that time comes that you're on it so that you can protect them. That's what love is. That's what love does. It's a hard conversation. It's a difficult thing. But when you love somebody, you protect them. You care for them. And that is not what the Biden family has done to Joe Biden. It's certainly not what the Democrat Party has done to Joe Biden. He was a useful idiot for quite some time. If you think that that Joe Biden is in there making choices and decisions and all of that right now, I don't know what you're looking at. I mean, you've told yourself something to make yourself feel better about voting for more crap, more of the same. How easy is it to unplug Joe Biden, to plug in Kamala Harris, and for some reason, this ship heading straight for the iceberg stays afloat and on track?
Yeah, it's amazing that you're talking about two different types of people, and both of them just shills for the current, whatever you want to call it, Washington establishment. Joe Biden probably at one point was making decisions on his own. I don't know if he was doing that a whole lot in this presidency at all, but certainly toward the beginning, maybe he was. Now he's not. Kamala Harris would step into that role and do the exact same thing. And she's not in cognitive decline. She just sticks her finger in the air and goes, what's the latest? You know, she could be a conservative tomorrow by just going, I think that's kind of popular right now. She won't be. But anything that's happening, she's just going to say whatever she thinks needs to happen to get into that office to be the person whose face is on the stamp.
You have such a clear choice in this election. It is so obvious that you can vote for 4 more years of Joe Biden, which is really 4 more years of whatever the Obamas and the apparatus that comes with the Obamas, the hope and change. Man, when the Obamas make a promise, they follow through. When the Obamas say that they want to fundamentally transform the United States of America in 2008 so that they can deliver hope and change and what looks like hope and change of the fundamental basics of the United States of America, When the Obamas make that promise and that commitment in 2008 to win that election, and they're still working on delivering it in 2024, and they've got all of this to show for it, you can trust the Obamas at their word, at least in that regard, because they've had quite some success. They've had the ability to channel together all of this power and decision-making authority. And it's kind of funny to see Barack Obama and Michelle Obama marching out on the stage right now, and they're pissed. They are downright disgusted that at this point in time, it looks like America might finally be saying, This time, they might finally be saying, because of their own processing, their own cognitive abilities, but their own lived experience under what this looks like in a Joe Biden-Obama presidency. In 2024, people are making decisions at the ballot box because of what they think, not what they've been told to think. Because the people out there that are telling them to think the same bologna sausage that they were trying to shovel into your mouth in 2015 and 2016 about Donald Trump, the same horse hockey that they've been trying to push on you and tell you that everything is about Donald Trump is evil incarnate, that he's this boogeyman that will haunt you when the sky falls and the closet door comes open. He's going to come out and get you. We'll keep the door closed for you. He's back there, and we're the only ones who can keep that door shut. We're the only ones who can keep you safe from that boogeyman in the closet. And in 2020, America goes, okay, we're going to trust you with this. And in 2024, they're like, well, you really screwed this up big time. I don't want any more of that. Let me see that boogeyman in the closet. You open the door and there's nothing there. There's nothing scary there. So people are able to trust their own intuition. You know, Ryan, when I'm thinking about the difference in the way Donald Trump as a candidate and Kamala Harris as a candidate are approaching this election, Donald Trump, and I know that this flies in the face of what everyone's been made to believe. So this is going to make a few people, my favorite people, fall off their chair when I say this. Donald Trump is truly running to be the president of the United States to save and serve America and Americans. He knows what makes America great. He's benefited from what makes America great. And because Donald Trump has benefited from the great idea of capitalism, of America first, since he's benefited from that, he has been able to bless so many people because he values that. Kamala Harris shows up, and think about this for a minute. Kamala Harris shows up in every opportunity she's sitting across somebody in an interview, or she's at a rally, or you find her on screen doing some sort of photo op, and I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing. That's all politics and campaigns are, just a bunch of photo ops so that you can see what they're doing, and then they prioritize what they want you to see. Doesn't Kamala Harris always look like she's shaking people's hands for the first time and say, oh, it's so good for you to meet me?
That's funny.
It's the whole campaign. She is allowing everyone to enjoy her company everywhere she goes. You can tell there's a level of disgust and repulsive reaction that she has to being in situations where it feels as though the power structure is a little more emphasized on the other person in the instance and not her. She can't handle it. She crumbles. She breaks down. Because, again, it's so nice for you to meet me.
It's another good example of how Kamala Harris, and this is policy aside, just isn't a good politician. Because we've said it before, and we've met a lot of politicians. Really good politicians are really good at making you feel important.
Yes.
They're just good at it. And that's both sides of the aisle.
Really good bosses.
Yeah.
But they're genuine people.
Yes.
They're not doing what they're told to do. They just do things that they know are good things because that's probably how they want to be treated.
And the thing is, you know, if you walk up on the street and you meet Kevin McCarthy, you know he is not going to remember meeting you. But he's going to make you feel like he's going to remember meeting you.
Well, not even just that, but he's just going to make you feel like you're the one who matters.
Yes.
And listen, folks, in politics, you are the one who matters. Kamala Harris, all she does is tell you, all she does in these interviews is tell you that what you've heard is wrong and what she has to say is right. She never indicates to a single voter that she really understands them. She's mad that you don't understand her. And she's never even made a clear statement in her entire political career. She doesn't know how to speak clearly, and she doesn't know how to communicate. She doesn't know how to connect with you because she doesn't give a rat's patoot about you. I want to say all the bad words today.
I give you approval.
Okay, I'm sure you do. Tomorrow's show hosted by Ryan Wiggins.
Right before the election.
Exactly. She does not put herself in the position to be president for you. It is for her, and she's really, really miffed that you haven't realized that yet. Don't you realize what you can do for her if you make her the first female president of the United States of America? I want to live to see that day. I want my daughters to live to see that day. I want my son to live to see that day. It would be an important moment for all of them. But I don't want it because of her gender more than I want it for their policies, because the policies are what's going to actually make life in America better for my children. All Kamala Harris is like a princess or a queen doing the princess wave, going one to the next. It's so nice for you to meet me. What a privilege it is for you to see me here. That's all it is. And if you had no substance, if you had no plan, if you had no policy that you knew would be the winning issue of your campaign, you are actually going to do something to make the lives of Americans better because America is the best country on the face of the planet. If you had that in your palm, you wouldn't be able to talk about it fast enough. You wouldn't be able to talk about it in quantity enough. There wouldn't be a camera or a microphone that you wouldn't want to get behind because your issues win. All she does is show up when she shows up. And she's so content with the idea that she is enough as she is. And I just hate to say this, Kamala. You're not enough. You have no substance. You do not have the qualifications. Simply having a job title does not qualify you for the job that you seek. You haven't made the case to the Americans, and it's your responsibility to do it. You failed at that. You are the vice president of the United States, and everybody wants it to change. Everybody wants something better than what you've had to offer. You failed at the job of teaching us who you are and making us like what you want to do for us, because the whole thing, Kamala, is about Kamala, and we're not here for it. And the great irony of this is the antidote to all of it is Donald Trump, who actually is the selfless person in the race. And like I said, I'll give you time to get back up off the floor after you've fallen off your chair. He is in it for you, even if you hate him, even if you detest him, even if the first thing you thought of when you got up out of bed this morning was how much you hate Donald Trump and hope he loses in 1 week. He still wants to make America great for you. He's still willing to put himself literally in the line of fire for you. He knows you hate him. He can handle it. Kamala Harris finds out one person hates her, and she goes on a tirade about how hurt she is, like a middle school girl who can't figure out how to just be nice to people. A girl who just figures out, you know what, I'm good enough. I can be kind to people. I can be nice to people, and then people will be nice back to me. Or if they don't like me, moving on. But you still got to be a kind person. Kamala Harris doesn't get anywhere past the social drama and the idea that she is somehow or another entitled to this position. That's a coronation, and we don't do those here. The truly selfless person in this race, the truly selfless person is Donald Trump. And the second that you realize that and you look at everything Donald Trump through that lens, you kind of sit back in your chair and you're like, wow, why is he doing this? Most people would have bailed a lot long ago.
Among even the little economic policy that she does give, things like, well, we're going to give you money for this. We're going to give you money for this. It's all redistribution of wealth.
There's no money to give.
And to your point,
until you take.
Yeah, everything that she's proposing is stuff that she's taking from somebody and giving to somebody else. Everything that Trump is proposing, and these are little things. These aren't big things, but that's all Kamala has. The little things that Trump is proposing differently. You know what his economic plan is because he was president for 4 years. But the new things, even the new things, well, we're going to take away taxes on tips. We're going to take away taxes on overtime. That's just removing government from your life. That's such a microcosm of the bigger picture. I don't think they're trying to do that. That's just who they are. One of them knows inherently we got to get government out of your life for you to have wealth. The other one says we need to get more government into your life to try to create wealth for you.
So we can provide you with what you need. And who determines the need? It isn't you. It's very true. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Go vote right now at the Annie Fry YouTube channel. The YouTube poll is, when will you vote? If you already early voted, have you planned to early vote? You're going to vote on Election Day, or you're not voting at all. We'd love to hear from you. We'll get to that response here in a little bit. We're talking about politicians in this segment, and when we come back, we're going to have Illinois State Representative Kevin Schmidt in the studio. We love Kevin Schmidt on the show. He is an Illinois Republican, maybe the only person to flip a seat in 2022
as far
in
as
the state of Illinois.
from our collective memory, he was the only one.
Do you remember when LaToya Greenwood was the prior representative in that district, and her campaign was running a bunch of ads against Kevin Schmidt, who was a chiropractor, I mean, he still is at the time, and she was running a bunch of Facebook ads about Kevin Schmidt that said that he voted against your Social Security. The dude is a chiropractor and was not in a position to vote for any of that stuff the last election cycle, and we talked all about that, and he beat her. That was a wild, wild ride. We're going to have Kevin Schmidt to talk back about in here in the studio next to talk to us about his race, Illinois General Assembly, what's it looking like, and what are the key issues in the state of Illinois that we need to know about as voters. Kevin Schmidt on the Annie Fry Show next.
Look what love gave us. A world full of killing.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Air Comfort Service, you find them online at aircomfortservice.com. The heating system check that you've been needing to do and postponing for quite some time, you can get that done with Air Comfort Service. Make sure that your heating system, as we move into the colder temperatures, okay, maybe not today, but soon enough, you are going to be in good hands with Air Comfort Service in your home. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Keep your HVAC system running all year round with routine checks from Air Comfort Service. Lack of maintenance to your main system can cause breakdowns, have you having to replace your system prematurely. Work with Air Comfort Service to make sure that you don't have to do that. I recommend purchasing one of their maintenance plans. You can call them at 314-513-0091. You can get regularly scheduled heating and cooling system checks twice a year, discounts on diagnostic calls and repairs. You can also acquire priority service, which is great when something happens in an emergency. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 5-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Mark Cox here. I have put together my 2024 general election voters guide with you in mind. The direction of our nation and our state is in your hands now. Visit 971talk.com to see the Mark Cox 2024 voter guide.
Remember the words you told me, love me till the day I die. Surrender my everything, 'cause you made me believe you're mine.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Yeah, you used to call me baby. Now
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Takes one to know one, yeah, you beat me at my own damn game. You pushing, I'm pulling away from you. I give and you take, Young blood, see you want me, out of your life, and I'm just a dead man walking tonight. But you need it, yeah, you need it.
Governor J.B. Pritzker telling lawmakers that he believes Illinois is on the right track. Today, he laid out his vision for how to address pressing issues and how to pay for them. One big ongoing challenge, the crisis that has brought tens of thousands of migrants to Chicago. Pritzker proposing to spend $182 million to address the need.
Now, I won't pretend that any of this is easy, but it would be irresponsible to do anything but come here, lay out the scope of the challenge, tell you what I think we need to do, and then work with you to make it happen.
So that's J.B. Pritzker from earlier this year, planning to spend $182 million to address the influx of illegal immigrants. The influx of illegal immigrants, that makes it sound like it's a bad thing. Aren't we a sanctuary state? Aren't we elevating the fact that we want these people to come here because our politicians who are in charge have said, you should come here? And now you're like, $182 million needs to go to help these people from the Illinois taxpayers that are, well, I guess we're all doing so well in the state of Illinois. I guess that's why. Illinois State Representative Kevin Schmidt in studio with us. He represents Illinois' 114th district. Go to Schmidt for il.com. It's Schmidt with a D for il.com to learn more about him. Welcome back. It's good to have you here, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
You were the only person to flip a seat in the Illinois House in the midterm 2022. You were the only person to take a blue seat red.
Correct. Yes.
What do you attribute that to?
I mean, my district was fed up with the status quo, and I worked hard.
You did.
I think I identify with the voters in my district very well.
Kevin Schmidt speaking with us right now. Do you feel like people in Illinois, I feel like when I talk to people, because we're all Illinois voters in here, and you do represent Brad, you're in Brad's district, or Brad's in your district, I should say. I feel like there's either complacency, and then you shift between complacency to just utter frustration and outrage because of the tax burden and the quality of life that you can live in Illinois comparative to move across the river to the state of Missouri. What is the feeling and the mood right now of the Illinois voter?
Well, so I've hit a little over 9,000 doors personally. My team's hit 30,000. It's going about 1,000 a day right now with the team.
To a few people.
They're both Republicans and Democrats, independents, everybody is upset about the cost of living, the taxation problem, and I don't think that the Democrat Party is addressing that at all. They're going off on other tangents, and they're not representing the people.
No, certainly not. I mean, but there's a status quo in the state of Illinois that's been allowed to just kind of be. And everybody downstate will say, this is what gets me, and this is why I want to make sure that people understand that Kevin Schmidt has had success where Republicans in the state of Illinois hasn't, in the Illinois 114th state district, that people tend to easily just blame Chicago for everything. And you just say, like, the way of Illinois is Chicago, and there's nothing we can do about it. But you were able to take that seat red in the last election. You need to win it again in this election. And there are other people running in Southern Illinois right now, like Jake Keevan against Katie Stewart. Like, we do have the power to make a difference from Southern Illinois and affect the direction of the state.
Oh, most definitely. You know, in the Metro East right across the river, that's been a Democrat stronghold. I was the first Republican of 47 years. Lots of people on both sides of the aisle didn't think I could do it. And like I said, we just need to represent the people. The people vote. So if you represent the people correctly, I believe you will win, even when you're outspent, 3 to 4 to 1.
Man, and I can speak to that. You did not get the full support of the party. When people were looking to try to win and flip races, I remember there were like 5 or 6 that people were keying in on. Yours was
not on the list.
Not on the list. You can ask Kevin that. And there's been a lot of leadership changes in the state of Illinois in the last few years. People didn't focus in on you, and you had to decide, am I going to try to win this one on my own, or am I going to try to, listen to what other people are saying, or maybe just kind of be the candidate, there's an R on the ballot or whatever. You decided it was worth it to do it on your own. Why did you make that choice?
Well, it's a big part of it. So my district is heavily impoverished. I have East St. Louis, Cahokia Heights area in there, which has historically been a poverty-stricken area. So that's been my focus, to try and help that area out, and just focus on the entire district, all of the people in the district.
What was it like? LaToya Greenwood is your opponent now. That's who you beat the last time. How was the district run under previous leadership?
Well, she didn't listen to the people at all. Never answered the phone. Never responded. She just thought she had it and was entitled to it, and I took it away.
I mean, your story is one of my favorite stories that we've dealt with as a radio show, being able to get to know some of these more local races. When we discovered, somebody had tipped me off to the ads that were being run against you when you were you're a chiropractor, a doctor with your own practice, and somehow or another you were being accused of, like, in the General Assembly, voting against old people's Social Security. And it's like, how does this chiropractor, are you in Swansea, Shiloh, where are you at?
Millstadt, my hometown.
Millstadt. Yeah. When you're like, I can't even vote on these things.
Yeah, I wasn't even in office yet. Yeah.
What happened with that story? How did that unfold?
You talked about it a little bit. We talked about it a little bit on the campaign side, but it's just, that's what the Democrats do. They run the same ads statewide. The stuff in
so they
the
have
suburbs.
to think so little about running against a Republican in a place like Southern Illinois down here. They think so little about that race that they just duplicate ads and they put Kevin Schmidt's name. And this money comes from the Democrat machine in Chicago.
Yes, pretty much. Almost 100%.
And so they're like, nah, we'll just run these ads against all of our opponents. And they put Kevin Schmidt's name in there as if he's voting against Social Security, and he's not even in the General Assembly. He's actually helping people become healthy in Millstadt.
Yeah, like I was an incumbent. So, yeah, I am now.
Well, after that made me so mad on the air. I said that I now wanted Kevin Schmidt to be king of Illinois. And then you were the one that won. So we take just like a teeny fraction bit of just wanting to get the support out for you and these other Republicans running in the Illinois state legislature. We know you're up against a tough job, but you're willing to do it. Going back to what J.B. Pritzker said earlier there, the investment to focus in the state of Illinois from the governor's not the governor's mansion. I don't think he even knows what that is. From Chicago, where J.B. Pritzker is. And then the Democrats, who have the super majority in the General Assembly. It seems like they care more about the illegal immigrants they're asking to come here than they do the taxpayers that they're taxing out of the state to provide for them instead of the people actually funding it.
Most definitely. So, like I said, I have a heavily impoverished district. There's a lot of people in my district that need health care. They need mental health care. They have no clothing, they have no food, they have no housing, and they're citizens of this country, they're citizens of Illinois. Their families have been here for hundreds of years, and we're putting illegal immigrants ahead of our own people that are suffering.
That makes me so mad.
This should be a bipartisan thing, and it's not. I don't understand why it's not bipartisan. It's just, it makes no sense.
Kevin, is that an issue? You said, your district has rural voters. It has inner city voters, poverty-stricken voters, like you said. It really runs the gamut.
It's a slice of America, really.
It really is, yeah.
Is that an issue that you're hearing in both places in your district?
Everywhere.
Really?
Everywhere.
So you're saying the political issues aren't divided by color?
Oh, no. So I did a little coffee talk in East St. Louis, and I was there for about an hour. And I don't like to lead people in to what they should talk about.
Yeah.
So I just do open-end questions.
You listen?
I listen, yeah, and then I let them talk. So they their number one concern there was illegal immigration. And I was surprised.
This is in East St. Louis?
In East St. Louis at the coffee shop.
What does illegal immigration mean to them? Like, what is the problem about that?
It's the same thing. It means the same thing to us. They're citizens. We're all citizens.
They value that.
Yeah, and they're not. And and they see the fact that they need resources, and they've needed resources for so long. Okay, I mean, the flooding issue over there in Cahokia, and the sewage mixing, and it's.
Do you have any more of those meetings before the election?
Not scheduled, but yeah. So this.
Can I go to one of those with you?
I could get you to one of those. Yeah, It's interesting because I was thinking the media does not portray it like this. I thought we were going to be talking about something else, and they went and started. The whole thing was about illegal immigration.
I just want to go see it and listen to them.
At the end of the day, I think we all have the same. We all want a better life for our family, our kids, and the priorities need to be correct in Illinois. And we need to prioritize our citizens first.
Yes.
It's pretty simple.
It's very basic. And when when it's America first, that doesn't mean everyone else out. It
Correct.
means if we talk about this in the context of our own personal home. The more I take care of my finances, the more I'm able to bless other people or be generous with the resources that I have. If I am not responsible with my finances, not only am I not taking care of myself, but there's no ability to take care of anyone else. Mm-hmm. That's common economic sense. It's just it's very interesting to see your district specifically, and you ran for the first time in the redistricted one, so people weren't 100% sure how it was going to shake out, and you were able to win. And God's honest truth, folks, Kevin Schmidt has gone and talked to all these people and done way more listening than he is like, here's how it's going to go. Your opponent, I have noticed, does very little and has been entitled to that position and that as that representative for quite some time. And you just showed up to do the work that she wasn't doing, and people are like, we choose you. Do you feel like division, like the demographical division, because we see it in the national level for sure, but even in the more local politics, is the demographical division of talking about race or, religion or just straight up skin color, are all of these things, when it gets down to brass tacks, is it just for TV? Is it just for the media?
I have to say something here. So I've walked the entire district. The most welcoming people I encountered were in East St. Louis by far. They've never had anyone knock on their door. They don't have no soliciting signs. I had a guy drive down the street in his truck and say, hey, Kevin Schmidt, can I have some flyers? This is in East St. Louis, all right? They invited me in for water. They talked to me. When they open the door, they want to have a conversation. Now, when I'm in O'Fallon, it's a little different. A lot of the people there, there's a lot of no soliciting signs. It's not as welcoming. And they kind of already know how they're going to vote, okay? Whereas in East St. Louis, they were so happy to see their state representative on their porch talking to them about what they want.
People just want to be heard, and they don't want to be pandered to. They don't want to be told this is how it's going to go. And, I would definitely say that there are people on both sides of the political parties who probably take their voters for granted more often than they don't. But Kevin Schmidt, you've done the work. I've watched it, and it was just like a little humorous to me to see the old guard of the Illinois Republican apparatus, and people are like, Illinois Republicans? I'm like, yes, there are many of us. We haven't got our act together yet. But in any situation, nationally as well as any other state, I've seen it happen in Missouri, the structure that gets disconnected from the people thinks they know how it's going to go. They think they know exactly what you need to do. And the truth is that every district is different. And if you're not listening to your district and people aren't listening to you, Kevin Schmidt, who knows your district because you work your district, we've got to turn the whole thing upside down. It has to start with the people in East St. Louis and O'Fallon in the same district. And Kevin Schmidt, the guy who wants to represent 114th district again for you, who's been there talking to people, it has to start from the very bottom to flow up. And that is really the upside down that we're currently in. Kevin Schmidt, you've turned it right side up in the 114th. And I'm really hoping that you're able to bring it home next week when the election happens.
Oh, definitely. Yes, it's going to be a win.
I want to go, take me where I want to go do one of those things just as an observer. I don't want to.
Just to listen
No
in.
speeches. That's not about me. I just want, you can tell people who I am, but maybe they want to talk to me. Maybe they want to talk to you, but I'd like to hear what they have to say.
It was very fluid. You know, the mailman comes in. He talks to me a little bit while we're there. Just people coming in and out. It's a donut shop, coffee shop.
I like donuts.
Yeah, they're awesome. So, but yeah, it wasn't forced. It wasn't planned. It wasn't rigged. It was just listening to the people, and those were the concerns of them.
People can go vote for you today, right?
Oh yeah. You can go vote at the courthouse, and there's multiple other places. Polling places.
Is there anything else in the state of Illinois that you want to put a spotlight on real quick before we let you go? Is there any other issue that is facing you, or just, the message really here is show up and be heard, and then after that, that's when the real work ends up starting, because you can actually do things once you get back in there.
I would just say fiscal responsibility. That's the number one problem, I think, with Illinois is prioritizing how we spend our money, because we have plenty of revenue coming in.
There's a lot of issues out there. Should the Republicans somehow get out of the super minority, there are a lot of issues out there that the Democrats want to make the big scary issue. If another Republican wins an election, this is going to happen. And you're like, maybe we should just get our fiscal house in order.
Yes. Simple.
Very simple. Kevin Schmidt, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming in with us.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks
good to
for
have you
having
back. Get in touch with me and let your people know, tell me when I could maybe come do that. I would love to hear what those folks have to say.
Yeah, it would be mid-cycle, when there's not a lot of election stuff going on, and just get, raw data.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That'd be great. Thank you. Kevin Schmidt in with us. He's the current Illinois State Representative for the 114th, and he's looking to win your vote once again. If you are in the cities, list the cities again, or around about.
It's East St. Louis, Cahokia Heights, Dupo, Millstadt, Smithton, Freeburg, New Athens, Muscuda, Lebanon, O'Fallon.
What a mix.
Knows his
What a
district,
mix.
yeah.
Wow.
If you're there, please get to the polls and vote early and support Kevin Schmidt. He's a wonderful person. He's a great representative. We're glad to have him on the show. Schmidt for Illinois, or Schmidt for IL, I should say, .com.
Yes.
That's the website. Go support him there as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Quick Weekends America. When we come back, don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at igotfloor.com. Have you been looking for flooring for your home? You know what it's like to want to spend money at places that people respect who you are and support the same things you do? Well, Michael's Flooring Outlet is a longtime partner and friend of 97.1. They're great people, family-owned and operated business that is going to help you make a very wise decision when it comes to purchasing flooring. It doesn't matter the type of flooring that you're looking for, because they have it all. And that's what they do. You go to Michael's because you want to buy flooring, and they're experts at it. Their staff is going to guide you through your process, so you're confident that you're going to get a quality product at a great price. That's the point that matters the most, isn't it? If you go to igotfloor.com, you'll be able to request an estimate there if you were just trying to figure out, okay, what are we talking about here? You'll also be able to look through their list of products and see their Mohawk Smart Strand line of carpeting or another type of flooring that you might be looking for specifically. You can find them in St. Charles County. In West County, you can also see them in Darden Prairie, but you can find them online at igotfloor.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service and Environmental Resources. At Hansen's, we manufacture a full line of garden and landscape products that are perfect for your outdoor project. Pick up any of our products at World Outdoor Emporium, Kirkwood Materials, or a Hansen's location near you.
Well, here it is, a week from Election Day, and the Annie Fry Show poll is, when will you vote? Have you already voted? Do you plan to vote early still, but you haven't yet? Or are you going to do it on Election Day at this point? The other option is you're not voting. Let us know. There's 4 choices of when will you vote. That's the Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll. 12:49, now 12:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Democracy 2024.
We're bringing you the latest results, real-time analysis, and thoughtful commentary. It's Mark Reardon. Join me and our panel of experts on Tuesday night, November 5th for 97.1 FM Talk's Election Night coverage.
Democracy 2024. Election Night. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins!
Thank you very much. Don't forget this
You're
weekend
welcome.
you are going to. Thank you.
It's like you walked into applause.
Look, whenever,
Thank you very much.
I have come to grace you with my presence.
I think I just understood that when Ryan's on the radio, he thinks that you're on the other side just clapping for him.
oh, you don't have to clap, but you're certainly cheering or doing whatever you do. You know, you're just generally happy to see me.
I really, I know how ridiculous that sounds, but I really wish that I were you like that.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Yeah,
it's a good place to be.
That's what it seems.
You know
like.
what though? It can work in the reverse though too, because when you walk in a room and people don't do that, you're like, what the heck is wrong with these
Have
people?
you ever walked into a room where people don't cheer?
This one?
Oh, it's like shock therapy for
I
you.
like that when he walks into a room and it doesn't happen. It's like it's something wrong with them. What's wrong with you people?
What's wrong with you?
It's never like, what am I doing wrong?
I'm doing fine. What's wrong with you people?
Kamala Harris.
Look, when you play the Wiggins America intro, it's naturally like, wow, you know, it's a big deal.
Who
so
made
I gotta
that?
be like, oh yeah, thank you very much.
Who made that intro?
I have no idea.
You
Probably
did.
the imaging director, which is me. So I have here a list of reasons why we either should or should not keep daylight savings time or saving time.
So hold on a second. Does that mean keep the time change? Like where it goes back and forth?
Yeah, keep the change. Either you leave it alone.
You filthy animal.
Tis the season. You either leave it alone and it just stays the same all year, or you go back and forth once in the fall, once in the spring. And I pulled this from Britannica, as in the Encyclopedia Britannica.
The blue one?
Are they blue? Were they blue when we were kids?
With a red, like a mauve stripe?
We always had World Book, so I don't know what Britannica looked like.
Is World Book different?
It was the other encyclopedia. These are reasons why we should keep daylight savings time. Longer daylight hours promote safety is one of them. Daylight savings time.
Can we also add that like the amount of daylight hours doesn't change if the time changes? It's just when they happen.
It's when you're doing your life. Daylight savings time is good for the economy, they say. Later time means more people are shopping after work and doing more after work.
With more daylight after.
And number 3 is it promotes more active lifestyles. Naturally, if you're out doing more, you're burning more calories, you're more active, and that is all supposed to be good for you. Does anybody have a hard opinion on this before I get into the cons?
I don't care which one it is. I wish it wouldn't change.
So you are against daylight saving time then? Because you want it to stay the same.
Because that's why I asked my first question is, are we identifying daylight savings time as this as just simply the switch, or should it just be that whatever we do to have more daylight in the summer when crops are in, we should just keep that all year? So are we committing to, there are 3 things you could commit to here. You could commit to not switching and have the summertime hours, to not switching and having the winter hours, or to switching.
I think what I'm specifically talking about is the switching. So it could be the later hours or the earlier hours, doesn't matter. They're just saying the switch.
I don't need to have the switch.
You want to get rid of the switch.
The one that's about to come up this coming weekend is my favorite one, though.
What if we could always just go back an hour?
Just every once in a while, when
every
you really
fall
need
and spring, you go back an hour.
Yeah. What is this, Alaska?
11 p.m. already?
See, everybody's getting more sleep. Everybody's happier.
That's not how it works.
Good morning.
Now, the cons are that daylight saving time is bad for your health because changing your sleep patterns, even by 1 hour, goes against your natural circadian rhythms. Basically, you're throwing yourself into jet lag.
You have people who are
year.
like, oh, I hate it when the time changes. But they're like, don't ever exercise, and they're 150 pounds overweight, but they're they're going to use this to be like, we should not change the time because this hour is not helpful to my health.
You just described me.
Wasn't going to
Not
put
quite
a name on it,
150
but
pounds. Yeah, 150 pounds is a little high, but
He carries it in his foot.
it is. Yeah, old blubber lefter. That's what I call that guy.
You just walk around like dragging your left foot. Just...
You guys are weird.
Here he comes again.
Oh, yeah, here comes old blubber lefter. It's so stupid. The other cons are that daylight savings time drops productivity because the time after the change, your workers are not quite as engaged. Everybody's kind of off their schedule a little bit.
Yeah, because it's an obvious excuse.
Uh-huh.
How long? I mean, you get, what, at least 2 weeks out of, the time change.
I need 2 weeks out of the time change. Especially in the spring.
I was saying, there's people in their excuses.
It happens, and it hurts.
150 pounds overweight.
The last con is... Yeah, blubberfoot. It's a condition they made just for me. Daylight savings time...
Blubberfoot is like the warm-up act for Rockmouth.
It sounds like somewhere you might go to play with your kids in Branson.
Blubberfoot.
Like, past Table Rock, you got to Blubberfoot.
Make fun of Arkansas, not Branson. Branson is ours.
It's the name of the RV park, Blubberfoot.
Daylight savings, last one. Daylight savings is expensive. There's an economist at Utah State University states that simple changing the clocks costs Americans $1.7 billion in lost opportunity costs every year based on the hourly wages paid out to people who are doing less work.
Well, I'm sure that there's probably a dollar amount associated with the amount of productivity that is able to occur with farming and all of that stuff. So
I'll see if we can get William F. Schugert II, the economist at Utah State University, on to talk about this tomorrow.
I appreciate that you talked about this. So this is not a comment on you.
No, thank you. Whatever's next.
In a non-election year, this is like radio gold of time changes coming up. We're going to get at least 4 or 5 days out of this one.
Now it's like radio plastic.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a couple days away. I want to get ahead of everybody talking about
After the election next week on Wednesday, all time change all the time. We'll be right back with Jim Carafano.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at ThrottleNet, and you've probably heard George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet on the show. He's a technology whiz, and George and his team can educate you and your business on the dangers lurking with technology. Here's a unique opportunity along those lines. Does your company have a lunch and learn or guest speakers? For a limited time, ThrottleNet is providing free lunch and learns to provide cybersecurity awareness training. One click can cause a ton of damage to your business. ThrottleNet is determined to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does, they're the cybersecurity experts who can help. ThrottleNet is known for high customer satisfaction, averaging 99% happiness with over 35,000 surveys. They have an industry-leading response time of less than 2 minutes. And no clients of ThrottleNet have ever paid ransom as a result of a cyber attack. Contact ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971 and we can schedule your free company lunch. Don't miss out. Find out more today about ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971.
Civia Law online at civialaw.com. I just finished signing the documents for the trust that my husband and I have established. It include our wills, our powers of attorney. Had to go through some interesting conversations between the two of us. What happens if I go first? What happens if he goes first? What happens if we go at the same time? They're difficult, but they're important because we now have that peace of mind that it is taken care of. We're 40 and we should have done it a long time ago. CiviaLaw.com. If you need to have an estate plan conversation, you can book a strategy session with Civia Law, 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. They've got 5 locations across the bi-state region. So they're in Missouri, they're in Illinois. They can help you in either one of those states. They're very accessible. They're very accommodating. They think of everything for you so that you don't have to. And they are looking forward to helping you with your estate plan, your wills, your powers of attorney. 833-995-WILL, CiviaLaw.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
7 days to the final vote. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. Former First Lady Melania Trump on Fox and Friends asked what she's feeling about this election.
I feel it's kind of the same like 2016. The support out there, it's incredible.
And in fact, the latest Fox News power rankings trending further toward Donald Trump.
Arizona moving from a toss-up to favoring former President Trump. The once reliably red state has become a major liability for Republicans. Former President Trump lost the state in 2020, and since 2018, Democrats have won 3 straight Senate races in Arizona and a race for governor. The latest Fox News power rankings also show Georgia, Nevada, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Michigan, and Wisconsin all remaining toss-ups. Hawaii Democratic Senator Brian Schatz still thinks Democrats are in a good position.
Even though we've been disappointed before, that we are executing well.
Former President Trump pulls above Vice President Harris on the economy and immigration, while Harris has a 13-point lead on the issue of abortion.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Donald Trump with remarks from Mar-a-Lago today, warning of the damage that could come from a Kamala Harris White House.
She was against fracking at the highest level. Wouldn't even think about it. Now all of a sudden, I'd like fracking very much. But they change after the election in about 2 minutes, and I think Pennsylvania understands that.
Trump has vowed to lift the Biden-Harris pause on liquefied natural gas exports and slash energy costs. Former President Barack Obama campaigning for Kamala Harris in Philadelphia, warning about Trump.
We do not need a president who will make problems worse just to make his politics better. We need a president who actually cares about solving problems.
Harris gives her closing argument speech on the Ellipse tonight in Washington, D.C. America is listening to Fox News.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Nothing feeling like October at all this afternoon. Sunny, 84 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy, and warm, only 69 for the low. Wednesday, keeping it windy and warm. Lots of sunshine, 82. Here come showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms after midnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then slow clearing Thursday afternoon. It is dry for trick or treat. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Mark Cox here. I have put together my 2024 general election voters guide with you in mind. The direction of our nation and our state is in your hands now. Visit 971talk.com to see the Mark Cox 2024 voter guide.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. First hour, we got to speak with Illinois State Representative Kevin Schmidt. He is in the 114 district. What towns did he list? Cahokia Heights, East St. Louis,
Dupo, Millstadt, Mascoutah, New Athens, O'Fallon.
Yeah, a very, very great slice of America through the entire district. Please go support Kevin Schmidt in Illinois. I know there's a lot of Missouri statewide races. We don't do our statewide. Unfortunately, we can't replace Governor Pritzker this right. Oh, just for just a reminder to everybody in Illinois, there are no governor term limits.
Oh, thanks.
J.B. Pritzker could run again and again and again and again.
I think that that's okay, though, because when we see in Illinois politicians stay in office for like a long, long time, usually they treat that power pretty well. Like Mike Madigan.
Yeah.
Remember that name?
He's in trouble.
I was to say, he's still in court.
We're going to talk to Jim Carafano, we hope, in a few minutes. He had a flight that was landing. It's like landing right now. So he's probably going to call us, and we're going to connect with him here shortly. But we've talked about the economy. We talked a lot about how people are struggling in the state of Illinois with Kevin Schmidt. The status quo with Democrats in control is not beneficial to the taxpayer, to the voter. But nationally, we absolutely experience the same thing. In addition to that, the other issue that a lot of people talk about after the economy being their number one issue, which Donald Trump, at least from a polling perspective, wins big on the economy issue, is the southern border. Is the southern border a problem? Is illegal immigration in this country a problem? Here is Tim Walz talking about the immigration issue that we have nationally.
But we can't forsake this idea that there are pathways to citizenship that take too long, and you can get people who are here, want to be here, contributing to this country, give them that pathway that's legal. And I think that's what the vice president has said. She said she'd sign the bill immediately.
Why is it so hard? It's for Democrats and Republicans, when we talk about immigration, Democrats are always like, we need a better way to become a citizen. And Republicans are like, yeah, but we need to close the border. Both of those things are true. We need to agree to say, okay, let's solve this issue, and then we'll solve that issue. And if you want to do it simultaneously, that's fine, but you have to have both conversations. Instead, in politics, what you do is you just point out how the other side is wrong about something, and nothing is done.
It's also really inauthentic of any Democrat, including Tim Walz, although he wasn't in Congress when this was happening, to say that and to use that as a line, because Trump himself, who he's running against, tried to do that in 2018.
True. Against some Republicans.
Republicans were not real happy with it.
Yeah.
And he said, it doesn't matter. We're going to try. If we can get border security, get the wall going, get all these things going, then I will give these people, dreamers, a path to citizenship. And Democrats refuse to do it.
Is there any person who's in this country right now that came here illegally? Is there any person that exists in this country right now that you think should be considered for citizenship? Just like that. I can't snap.
Like the children of illegal immigrants or something, like a group like that.
What if you've been here for 45 years and you were brought here as a child, and all you've ever known is this, and now you're going to get shipped back to some third world country? That there is a huge difference to me between legal status and citizenship. And and this is when DACA was brought into the conversation with Obama, that idea that there was a finite group of people who were brought here as children, we should label them as DACA or whatever. We cannot solve the immigration problem until we solve the border problem, because people will continue to come here, and then the other problem continues to get bigger and bigger. Let's talk to Jim Carafano, who joins us once again. Great to have you on, Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, we're talking a little bit about the immigration issue, something you and I have talked about for years and years now. And I'm mentioning that, like, Democrats want to say that the problem is it's too hard to become a citizen. Republicans are often saying the problem is that it's too easy to get into the country. What's the sensible way to look at the problem as it stands right now and come to a solution that anybody on either side of the aisle should be able to agree to?
Well, look, nobody can believe a law where breaking the law provides enormous benefits, and if there are no consequences for breaking the law, that law is going to be obeyed. I mean, that's just human common sense. And so how do you restore the integrity of the law? Well, one is you have to secure the border. Two is you have to go after people that are building these transnational human trafficking networks that are funneling people to the border. And three is you have to deport people. I mean, you just have to. And you have to deport them in large numbers, because that's what's going to show people that you're serious about enforcing the law. And that's also going to mean taking away all these benefits that people have from being here illegally. It's actually It's actually easier to come to this country illegally. It's more beneficial to come to this country illegally than to come legally. So you have to stop all that, and you can't say, well, that won't work, because we know it worked, because that's what Donald Trump did, and he significantly reduced the numbers. But look, the joke about citizenship is that's just complete nonsense. If all they wanted was more people to come here legally and work, they had all the laws on the books and all the capacity to do that. They specifically chose not to do that. They wanted to break the system so they could bring in tens of millions of people and then say this problem is overwhelming, so the only solution is to give them amnesty. And, of course, the number one problem with that is as soon as you give everybody amnesty, the next 10 million will be at your door.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. We're speaking with Jim Carafano right now. In an earlier interview, Jim, I had an Illinois state representative, a Republican, won his seat from a very successful Democrat over the years in East St. Louis here. I don't know how familiar you are with East St. Louis, but it's a very impoverished area. It's right across the river from downtown.
Yep. Actually been there many times.
Yeah, so he was talking about how when he was canvassing this district, that those are the people who want to see him and talk to him the most. Yes, he's a Republican. He's a white guy going into East St. Louis, and they want to talk to him, and he sits and listens to him. And he said the number one issue that he hears from those voters when he sits down with them in an African-American community is that illegal immigration is the priority issue for those voters. Is the solution deportation? Is there policy and politics that need to come together in order to sell that to the American people? Or do you just make it happen? You get it done. It's the right thing to do.
Well, look, I think the American people are sold on this, and it's the only practical thing that can be done. And the reality is if you want to deport people, you have to detain them. You cannot just say show up for deportation or put one of the thing on somebody and expect that that's going to happen. And that means, and the other thing is, look, you don't have to deport 10 million people. You have to deport large numbers. But a lot of people will actually just self-deport. A lot of people just came here for economic reasons. And once they realize that there is not, a free lunch here, they're just going to leave. A lot of the criminal people, once they find out it's not easy to do criminal activity here, and it's much easier to do it back in their home country, they're just going to go home. And so the reality is you have to deport enough people to show them that you're serious about enforcing the law. And that's what's going to change things.
Jim, what about the immigration system? Set aside, obviously, the huge, massive problem that needs to be a priority to be addressed in letting people just come in here. But is it too complicated to become a United States citizen? Does it need a refresh?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the problem is not the mechanism, and you can adjust the volume, and you can speed up the process. I think the problem was always, and it was actually an issue that Trump wanted to address. It's who are you bringing into the country? So the primary ways of bringing people in the country was chain migration, which basically it's like we bring in people who are related to people here. And most smart countries in the world are moving to something called merit-based migration, which is you bring in people that are going to add the most to your society. And there are different models to do this. They've all worked very successfully. The United States can implement that. As a matter of fact, Trump in the second term was going to do that. So when we said the system was broken, what we were complaining about is, we're just bringing in the wrong kinds of people, and we really don't have a system to decide what's the right number to bring in. And Trump was going to fix that. When they say the system is broken, is we can't bring in 10 million Democratic voters and register them overnight. And so we have very different perceptions of what broken means.
Yeah, and you can't solve a problem if you can't define the problem and agree upon it. We're speaking with Jim Carafano right now. He's an expert at the Heritage Foundation. We're grateful to have him on here. Do you feel as though?
I just want to say one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say one thing because what Harris has said is, and you know me, I'm not Republican, not Democrat. Just what she said is, we'll secure the border, but we have to give amnesty to everybody, and then we'll secure the border. That dog does not hunt. The last 4 presidents have proposed that with every combination you could have: Republican Congress, Republican president, Democratic Congress, Democratic president, Democratic Congress, and it's never succeeded because they know the American people just simply won't buy that. So if that's your alternative, we know it'll never happen because it'll never get the support of the American people. It never will. Matter of fact, if you look at the polls today, forget about Congress. 80% of Americans today just say deport them.
Yeah. Yes. It's actually a pretty agreed upon issue at this point in time. Do you feel as though Donald Trump and his policies that he had in place, and if he were to win, he'd probably put a lot of those policies back in place, I assume through the 94 executive orders that the Biden-Harris administration undid, is more needed on border security from Congress?
Not initially. I think 99% of what the president needs to do, he can do with executive orders. And the other thing is he has the team. I mean, there are a lot of people that worked on this issue in the past administration that have the trust and confidence of the president. They know exactly what to do, and they know exactly how to do it. And they're just waiting, for the call. Pack your bags, come to Washington. Mm-hmm. So of all the areas of foreign policy, I think this is the one where literally everybody walks in the door on day one, and there's not even anything to debate. It's just, we're going to do this.
Yeah, that's exciting to hear. Hopefully we can materialize that way. Last question before we let you go, and Jim, we're grateful for your time today. When Kamala Harris always brags about the bipartisan bill that she gives Donald Trump credit for killing, she always talks about getting all of those border control agents to flood the area. What has the Biden-Harris administration done with the men and women who are serving in Border Patrol and keeping that area safe? What have they used those people for?
Well, they basically use them. I mean, the reality is they've used Immigration and Border Control as a concierge service to bring illegal aliens to the United States. And the only reason why they say numbers are down is because instead of people illegally breaking the United States, essentially the U.S. government just picks them up and brings them in. So, I mean, you're using it's like using the police to escort the bank robber from the bank.
And then not calling him a criminal. It's unbelievable. Jim, thank you for fitting us in your schedule. We're going to, next time we talk to you, if you have time next Tuesday, Election Day, we're looking forward to it. Soon we will have, hopefully, a new direction for this country. Thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye. Jim Carafano is the Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation, on X at JJ Carafano. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll discuss the YouTube live chat poll a little bit. When will you vote? Some of y'all have already done it. You'll find out if any of us have cast our votes already. Maybe you've already voted. Maybe you plan to vote early. Or maybe you plan to vote on Election Day, or maybe you've decided, I can't do it. I'm not voting. Oh, please, Lord, have mercy. Don't be that person. Annie Fry YouTube channel. Come vote. Tell us what you think. We'll be back in just a minute.
You wanna give up 'cause it's dark. We're really not that far apart.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Retirement Advisory Group, they're online at retirementkey.com. Your retirement exhale comes very quickly after you make the phone call to 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. You're going to give them a call and you're going to talk to the wonderful people at the Retirement Advisory Group so that you can set up an appointment that is about you with Thomas Helbig, with Bob Kershaw, with Tammy Kershaw. You're going to have that discussion that discusses all of the smart moves that you need to make before you actually enter into retirement. You're going to have to make some transitions, and you want to know what the full picture entails. That's why you sit down with the Retirement Advisory Group. They're the best. They've never had a client lose a penny. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. You reach out to the Retirement Advisory Group and make sure you mention the Annie Fry Show when you do. You're in the best of hands. RetirementKey.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Right now,
38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather. That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
I've been hearing so long about government mandates all these years. It's coming true unless something changes this year yet. Then maybe it could be stopped. If not, homeowners, if you need an air conditioner, if your air conditioner is old now, get the equipment that you can still get before they say you can't have it. Not to scare you, they scared you. I'm just saying the equipment we have right now, unbelievably better than what you have because your equipment's 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 years old. So if you're looking and if your system's that old or if people are saying it's old and you knew, I'm not going to waste your time. But if you call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers. All right. So it's not the easiest. I have forgotten the number, even as many times as I put it up. But 314-293-2600 or go to the internet, BartInman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This summer, children throughout our region will hear the devastating news that they have been diagnosed with a critical illness. But there is hope, there is you. You can transform lives this summer by supporting the Make-A-Wish Foundation and helping to deliver hope, strength, and joy in a time when it is needed most. Your donations will truly change lives and restore childhood back to those who have lost it due to a medical diagnosis. Visit wish.org/MoCan to give the gift of a wish today.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Alfredo Ortiz, do you have any indication things are going to be any different under Kamala Harris than it was with Joe Biden?
Yes, I do. It's going to be worse. It's everybody but herself. She needs to look in the mirror and really figure out what actually is going wrong.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Me and my friends at the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. And Come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop it, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. And last night you were in my room. And now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. Well, I'm in love with your body.
One thing we have noticed in the last couple days, this is not all of the polls that are out there now, but we have seen a number, 4 in the last 4 days, that have shown very small, but in the context of this close race, potentially meaningful movement in Trump's direction. I don't want to overstate it, but at the same time, it's hard to ignore these 4. The CNBC poll came out the other day, has Trump ahead by 2. The Wall Street Journal poll, Trump ahead by 3. These are national numbers. Siena and the New York Times, a tied race. CNN, a tied race. The significance here is broader movement. Again, we're seeing in Trump's direction.
I don't want to overstate it. By stating it, you are probably overstating it.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, right. I don't want to state it.
If we're going the other way, let's just for a second here. That was NBC's Steve Kornacki talking. If by chance at this point the polls were moving into Kamala Harris's direction, would they be like, I don't want to overstate it?
No.
No. Absolutely not.
No, in fact, whenever the polls, like let's say, take a state, for instance, Michigan. Okay, this poll shows Trump up by 1. This poll shows Harris up by 1. So they take the 1 and go, Trump up by 1 means this is essentially a tied race. Harris up by 1. There's Harris just shows a tiny lead. Like
it's all Harris.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, it's all Harris. I'm going to refresh this here and see because I had it up from yesterday. Okay, yes. The RCP, which is realclearpolling.com, they have every slice and dice way to look at this election polling, all of the different polls, so on and so forth. The aggregate in the national polls right now is Trump plus 0.4.
That's national polls?
National polls. We were so excited in 2022 for the midterm election.
Yeah.
I know where you're going with this.
I'm not going to say any more then. I don't want to talk about it.
My biggest concern with polls right now is
you
that...
have any?
I do.
Oh,
I really do. Because
I'm like, hey, guys, look at these awesome polls. And Ryan's like, I'm skeptical.
Temper your enthusiasm a little bit, Annie. You tend to just run away with things like that.
Yeah.
My concern is that we have had so much Trump for so many years now, and these pollsters
not enough
have figured out how to poll him, which means that we do actually have a tied race. Because if it's comparable to 2016 or 2020, Trump's going to win this thing. But if the pollers have figured out how to poll him, which they may have, then this actually is a neck-and-neck race at this point. And here, one more thing. Here's the reason why this concerns me. Because in 2016 and 2020, I like being optimistic, but this is real. The right-leaning pollsters had Trump ahead or tied, while the left-leaning mainstreams had Clinton or Biden or whoever way ahead. And then Trump outperformed them. But the right-leaning ones had it. This year, the right-leaning ones and the mainstream are basically the same. So that gives me concern that the mainstream media has figured out how to poll Trump and we have a neck-and-neck race.
But I like the polls.
Don't worry. It's not about, here's where you're falling short. It's not about
Is this about
polls.
polling or just generally my life?
This is just a you thing.
I've been wanting to talk to you, Annie.
I've seen the way you live your life. And there's some things I wanted to talk to you about. I was going to do it privately.
Let me have it. We just you and me here. Brad, cover your ears.
We don't get to talk we talk so much on the air that I'm like, let's just do this. When you look at polls and you talk about loving polls, it's not about polls. It's about data and comparing data to data. It's all about just using that data to predict what you think is going to happen. And polls are a good tool to do that. but they're imperfect. And so when you talk about 2022, gives me the same pause. You're like, Dems overperformed the polls in 2022. But there's still this big backlash against Joe Biden happening. So could this be that red wave? I mean, you really don't know.
I mean, they ask other questions like job approval rating. Who do you think will handle this better? And there's a lot more separation in those surveys, in those polls. And I have said this all the time. You know, polls are persuasive. They're not predictive. They're there to persuade somebody. And so to figure out who they're trying...
And you can use the same poll to persuade completely different things.
Mm-hmm. So my question is who commissions these polls and what's their agenda? And that will kind of help me understand why they selected the data the way they selected, why they did what they did as far as who they're going to poll, how much are they going to weight Republicans versus how much are they going to weight Democrats, all of those things.
There's the polling that we can all look at the polling, but then there's also just the reality of what we can see with our own eyes. And I'm continuing to see people who are coming out and having conversations in ways that we have not, that status quo has changed. And if the status quo has changed for people in this election that previously, A, wouldn't have spoken out, or B, didn't believe, they believe something differently in 2020 and 24 than they did right now, I think that really matters. That is a measured change in what is real and tangible in this election compared to the ones before. And the amazing thing is that the alternative media role in this particular election, alternative to cable news, alternative probably to talk radio. Talk radio looks a little different each and every year that passes for a whole myriad of reasons. But the idea that there are these podcasting influencers out there right now, that there are people who are able to put their thoughts and voice out there to have conversations that don't have to be approved by the media gatekeepers who consolidate and dole out power in exchange for access, that whole system has changed. Megyn Kelly, I loved Megyn. I liked Megyn Kelly the entire time she was on Fox News. When she left, people were not too high on her. I will say that as a female professional, I admired and respected her just for the job that she did, because she, to me, was always fierce. She was independent in thought. I knew when I was watching Megyn Kelly that I was getting Megyn Kelly and not some pre-programmed robot who was supposed to do this, that, and the other thing. I just always really respected her in that role as a female who had aspired to be able to have a shot at something at some point. Zachary Levi, who we've talked about on this show before, he is an actor. He is Flash? No, what's his Shazam?
Shazam.
I was going to say Shazam first, but I thought that was
There's
Shaq.
only one Shazam. There's about 15 Flashes.
Who was Shaq?
Who's
Shaq?
Shaq? Shaq did a movie called Shazam as well, but it wasn't based off of the superhero comic.
Oh, never mind.
See, I didn't want to get those confused. Anyway, people know about that part of it. I know him as Flynn Rider in Tangled, the Rapunzel story, one of our favorite family princess stories. And I have, over the course of the last 2 years, seen him say things or tweet things, and I thought, I think he's a conservative. I was onto him. There are certain things that when something happens in America or something like that, all the usuals come out and they all say the same thing. And then somebody else comes out and they say something that acknowledges the situation, but they say it differently. And I go, And then I just move on with my life. Well, now Zachary Levi is welcoming to the stage RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard in support of Donald Trump. And in the last, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks, he's really kind of pushed the pedal to the metal and making sure that his voice is heard and clear on the issues that face voters in this election as he sees it.
I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump and Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard and Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and JD Vance and everyone else that they're going to bring in this team this Avengers, this Voltron, whatever you want to call it. And they're going to get in there and actually do what Donald Trump said he was going to do the first time, which is drain the swamp. And he has admitted that he couldn't do it, and he didn't do it because he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't even think he was going to win the first time. And he had no time for his transition team. And then it was loaded with a bunch of sycophants and horrible people that were the swamp monsters that Bobby Kennedy has very accurately pointed out. And so now they're privately funding. I love this, that Trump is privately funding his own transition team, not waiting for the government. So they are ready to go, and they are not compromised. That is the government that I want. That is something. Bobby is 100%. He and Tulsi are going to be let loose to be the bulldogs that we need to hold people to account. And by the way, and they will do it fairly. They will do it civilly. They will do it in love. I've sat with both of them. They are incredibly wonderful human people.
Listening to Zachary Levi there, first of all, I close my eyes and just pretend it's Flynn Rider, and I'm even happier. I'm like, take that, Disney.
They should animate that.
It's got to be happening already.
I'm sure Disney's on that.
Yeah. I wonder what he looks like. He's like cracked out Flynn Rider or something like that.
Just some bug-eyed crazy.
He's so right. It's not just about Donald Trump. And the funny thing about that is when you view it from the left side of the aisle, about Donald Trump, he's been made out to be this pariah, this terrible, evil person. But for some reason, so many people have said, I don't know if Donald Trump is as bad as I always thought he was. But I still can't really stand him, because when you hear him talk, he still talks the way he's always talked. In delivery, in sharpness, like he's still that guy. But when you're like, Bobby Kennedy, okay. Tulsi Gabbard, really? Like Tulsi Gabbard's position on endless wars. Bobby Kennedy's position on all the chemicals that America says that you can eat here because they've got the medications to prescribe you when you get the after effects of the things they put in our food. And those companies end up getting super wealthy off of your unhealthiness. I'm in for Bobby Kennedy. If you trust Bobby Kennedy, if you trust Tulsi Gabbard, if you trust these people that you've listened to, Vivek Ramaswamy, who has a clean and clear understanding of what America first and American greatness can do for us, and then ultimately our position in the world. J.D. Vance, who understands American poverty. I know he's wealthy now, but who appreciates wealth more than somebody who is impoverished? It's like people, I bring it into this, but it's like people who, I was born into a Christian family. Generationally, that's Christianity is what my family does. And I'm very, very grateful for that. But I've met people who came into their Christian faith as adults, and they have a certain passion. They're in love with their faith because they understand the converse of what it's like to not have that understanding and that belief. People who have come into, in the last however many years, whether it was a slow burn or they got smacked in the face with the idea that maybe, possibly, what I've been told about Donald Trump isn't exactly accurate. The Trump campaign does not try to explain away Donald Trump, ever. And in some points, don't you wish they kind of would? They'd be like, well, he's like this, but... All Kamala Harris does is try to explain away what people think about her and tell you why you're wrong to think the way you do. The Trump campaign is like, that's Trump. Period. You know what you get. You don't have to love everything about it. Donald Trump doesn't care whether you love everything about it. He knows he has the solutions to the problems, and he's willing to actually identify what the problems are. Going back to what we were saying before, the polls look good. I feel good about it. I immediately think about the RW in 22, and I can't get excited about it now because I don't want the disappointment to start from so high up. At least if I'm flatline on it, the disappointment feels a little more manageable for me. But then I'm thinking, like, this could be we don't know the level of excitement that would exist if the outcome is the way it looks like it could be. And I don't really want to miss out on the fun.
I'm going to do predictions this weekend on my show, and I'm having a tough time because it could go one of two ways. And one way is that Trump really does what he always does, overperforms, and then carries other down ticket senators and House members with him. And it's like, wow, that was the thing we were waiting for. It also could be that it is just like he could eke out a victory. I would say her path is getting really tough. But as far as the Senate goes, like, it could be a rather disappointing night. I think they'll still take it. But, man, it's just tough because you don't know.
Well, yeah, I think really it's the question is what is the enthusiasm of Democrats in this election cycle? Because we're seeing a lot of early voting. We're seeing, I mean, nobody questions the enthusiasm of Trump voters. Nobody does that because the media is against them. Is the enthusiasm that the media has been presenting for Kamala Harris, is that real or is that manufactured to try to get her across the line? I don't know. I think that's the real question.
Amy on YouTube says, I remember being super excited in 2020 because of the turnout at my location, not getting burned again, keeping expectations way low. I understand that, Amy. I totally understand that. I'm constantly thinking to myself, just keep it steady, Annie. Just keep it steady. But we are a week away from knowing. Maybe 8 days.
Man, I hope we know quick.
Maybe 2 months.
We just need to know by January 11th or whatever it is this year.
Isn't it? Like,
is it always 6? No.
So.
It's always like a day, isn't it?
We'll find out. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you guys, Ryan, Brad, when will you vote? The YouTube live chat poll question is, when will you vote? Have you already early voted? Do you plan to early vote? Are you voting on Election Day? Or are you not voting at all? Who are you? Why would you be listening to this show and not be voting? Annie Fry YouTube channel, go say hi in the comments and leave your vote so we can tally it with the rest of them. We'll be right back.
You can eat, fill up your bag, and I fill up
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
In the taxi, kissing the backseat, tell the driver make the radio play, and I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead.
JenTeskeyHomes.com. Teskey is spelled T-E-S-K-E. JenTeskeyHomes.com. Jen Teskey and RE/MAX Alliance, they are the power punch that you need for listing your home in Illinois, for buying a home in Illinois. Yes, it happens. And if you are in the market to buy and or sell, you want to make sure you have somebody who understands the lay of the land. And our team, the Jen Teskey team, they get it. They understand it. You can call them directly to see how they can help you with your current situation, maybe give you advice on how to spruce up the home. You'll fill out a form and they'll be able to give you an idea of what kind of asking price that you'll be able to acquire, and they will position you for the best possible sale. If you're looking for top dollar, if you're looking for quick sale, you reach out to them at 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. Her name's Jen Teskey. She is with RE/MAX Alliance, and she's the best. JenTeskeyHomes.com.
When Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com talks to people about health insurance, they tell him, 1, my premiums are too much. 2, my deductible is so high I never meet it. And 3, my doctor doesn't accept my plan anymore. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance and available all year long, so you can enroll today. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
I know we're all busy. We're working, we're running errands, trying to take care of the kids. It's really easy to put things off. One thing you do not want to put off, though, your annual eye exam. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates not only gave me the most thorough eye exam I've ever had, but they're also experts in the diagnosis and treatment of all diseases of the eye. Everything from dry eye to macular degeneration and cataracts. Think about this. Your eye health is the window into your overall body health. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ron Sancha Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry, they can look at your eyes and even tell in some cases if you have early stage diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, even some forms of cancer. They're called the doctor's doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. The best part about this is that most insurance plans cover the cost of your annual eye exam. Set up your appointment today, 314-966-5000. Again, 314-966-5000, or go to youridoc.com.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
I really like this poll. We've asked this question before, but, it's election season and things change. So we want to know, when will you vote? Have you already voted? Do you plan to early vote, but you haven't yet? Or are you going to vote on Election Day, or are you not voting at all? Those are the 4 choices. Now, back when we did this the first time, we were all saying early vote. But I want to see if that's changed for you, because it has changed for me. This is the YouTube live chat poll. You find it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube, and today's stream will come up. You vote there. 149, now 150. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk is your home for Election Night 2024. On air and online, we're covering the races that matter most to you with real-time results and expert commentary. Democracy 2024. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
If 60% of our members are leaning Republican, then it's up to the Republicans to figure out why they're voting that way, Democrats to figure out why our members are voting that way, instead of pointing fingers and looking for excuses. I mean, look, whoever wins this election, they've got to win over working class America. If you're a Democrat, you've got to win back the support. If you're a Republican, portraying yourself, you want to support working people, you're going to have to prove it. And, I'm not going to sweat people coming at us, with knucklehead comments or anything else. We've got to focus on fixing this country. There's a divide down the middle, and let's not put people in the middle of political parties. Let's fix the problem and work together.
So that's the Teamsters president, Sean O'Brien. And that is just wild, wild, wild stuff to hear. Like, if 60% of the Teamsters support Republicans, he said it's on the Democrats to figure out why that is. Don't come at us and tell us what we're supposed to do here. That is an upside down power structure. That is what is changing. And if it changes, the ability for the course of American history to change here is significant. I remember specifically having this feeling when Donald Trump won in 2016. I asked myself the question, crap, I hope he can do all that stuff he said he was going to do. Like, in 2016, I was thinking the Republicans put their hopes and dreams into Donald Trump to be their advocate for more people to vote the next time for Donald Trump. And he actually won me over, as in, like, where has this been the whole time? In the midst of all of the negative reporting that started the day after the election. Was it the Washington Post, New York Times, or somebody? The headline was, the impeachment starts today.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember which outlet, but yeah.
But I mean, like, that was the sentiment right after he won. And they weren't wrong. They weren't lying. They were being super honest. YouTube live chat poll for today is, when will you vote? You've already early voted. You plan to early vote. You're going to vote on election day. You're not voting. Ryan?
I had planned to early vote, but at this point, there are 3 reasons why I am actually going to do it on election day. The first one is that I feel like I am, every day that goes by, getting more ballot knowledge about the down ballot, because I know who I'm going to vote for up top. It's the county board and the small races.
The stuff you don't start paying attention to until like
later.
Right before.
Yeah, and I'm gaining that knowledge, and so election day is going to be beneficial for me because I feel like I'll be the most knowledgeable by then. The other is that the lines are better in Illinois anyway. I don't know if it's like this way in Missouri, but man, I walk right into my polling place in Illinois every year on election day and vote in 5 minutes.
Will you be surprised if it's not like that then?
I will be surprised if it's not like that.
I get tweets every day from people, and there are 2-hour waits to vote. A lot from Missouri, but that people are, and Missouri's got a lot more going on.
Yep.
So that's going to be the case as well. Vote for Kevin Schmidt, Illinois 114. That's Brad's district. Jay Keevan. This is a huge one. Katie Stewart's been a disaster for the 112th district. Get out there and support Jay Keevan. He's the one who, you'll remember, we showed up. I went out and helped him get signatures so that he could get on the ballot because Katie Stewart tried to get a bill passed that said that she wouldn't have to have an opponent. And they passed it. And then it went to the Senate right away, and they signed it. And the governor signed it into law, but we got the signatures done in time and had to, speed drive them up to Springfield so that he could be slated as a candidate. Katie Stewart tried to make it so that she wouldn't have an opponent. Jay Keevan is the opponent that you showed up to make sure that Katie Stewart had a challenger, and everybody in the 112th. I'm talking to you, Madison County, Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Collinsville. I'm not sure specifically of the boundaries of the district. I know they drew my house. They drew a line around my house and put me out of her district. So I'm an Amy Elliott girl, and you need to support her as well. So Illinois, those are the key races over there that I want you to be paying attention to. There are a few more. We'll get to those as well. Brad, when will you vote?
I already voted.
Oh,
I was going to vote early, and then I did vote early. So I went.
That was a shot at you, Ryan.
No, it wasn't.
Ryan,
no.
Brad just said I had a plan and I followed through
and
on
I executed my plan.
Wasn't your plan to vote early too?
No, I haven't made a plan. I probably at this point intend to vote on election day, but I might vote early. I just am in a million bazillion places all the time. And the idea that something would stop me on election day from making it there, I will not be on this show. I will be voting before I will not be getting my ballot cast.
Well, the reason I did it was because it worked out well for me. I had a Sunday afternoon off, so this past Sunday is when I went in and voted. And
what was it like?
It was busy. Like, you have to walk in Illinois. You have to walk in. You have to make your ballot request, early voting ballot request. So you fill it out, and there's only like 3 highlighted places you have to fill out to get that request. Then you walk over, and I asked the lady that was working there. I said, "Hey, have you gotten?"
Wait a second. You're saying you have to have, and I want to make sure we get this. So make this segment longer if we have to. But you said that you have to.
There's an application for early voting.
But that's different than you don't have to fill out that application to go vote early.
Well, you fill it out there. So it's not the one that they mail you. They've got them laid out on the table.
Right, but you don't have to do anything. I mean, what I'm saying is right now in Illinois,
you don't walk in.
You don't have to bring anything or do anything to early vote. You just have to show up.
They've got everything there for you.
So if you want to early vote in the state of Illinois right now, you could just, instead of going to McDonald's right now, you could just turn and go walk in. You wouldn't have to have literally anything like an ID.
Right.
Vote.
And the lady told me that I said, "Hey, have you guys been busy?" And she's like, "Oh, sweet baby Jesus, is fatty meat greasy?" I said, "What?" She said, "I said, is fatty meat greasy?" I was like, "Wow, okay, well, tell me," because I vote in O'Fallon at the township building there, and she said that they have had on average about 600 people per day voting.
Holy smokes!
But you know what the process took me? That sounds like a lot. It took me 10 minutes in the door, out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in, filling out that little thing, telling them who I was, grabbing my ballot, and voting for who I was voting for, and casting my ballot, and then out. I even got my sticker. So
that is fast.
Yeah. So it doesn't look busy, but I mean it was just constant. They had them humming.
That's awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back in the 2 o'clock hour, we're going to have a little bit of fun. We'll also talk a little bit more about some of the appearances that are being made by the candidates. They're trying to get their message home. What are they calling it? Their closing argument? I'm waiting for one of the candidates to actually make an argument, but I guess the closing one's no time like the present. Stick around with the Andy Fry Show. Go vote in our YouTube live chat poll. When will you vote in the actual election? We'll be right back.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Down to just a week to go. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. Former President Trump spoke for about an hour to supporters at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida today. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more on what he said.
The former president said he hadn't taken a day off the campaign trail in over 50 days.
So we're going to fight like hell for the next 7 days, and then hopefully...
He invited the mother of a veteran killed at Abbey Gate during the Afghanistan withdrawal on stage to speak, as well as a mother whose daughter was killed by a suspect who's undocumented. She spoke after a video featured the story of a mother whose 12-year-old daughter was also murdered.
I think what's happening on the border is the single biggest issue, and I'm seeing it more and more when I speak.
He said the vice president and her campaign should be more careful in their criticisms of him, given the assassination attempts and Iranian threat made against the former president. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
We interviewed former First Lady Melania Trump on Fox and Friends this morning.
I would like to see country to be safe and prosperous, better economy, and the peace in the world.
Vice President Kamala Harris expecting to hit back later tonight, driving home her belief that Donald Trump was a fascist, delivering her closing remarks from the Ellipse in Washington, D.C. And former President Barack Obama campaigning for Vice President Harris in Pennsylvania yesterday, advocating for the vice president's economic plan.
Kamala has plans to go after corporations that unfairly jack up prices. She has plans to make it easier for you to build and buy a home. She's got plans to limit out-of-pocket health care costs.
Well, the latest polls show this is going to be a very close race. The latest Fox News Power Rankings have Trump ahead on the economy and immigration, with Harris ahead on abortion. America's listening to Fox News.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Nothing feeling like October at all this afternoon. Sunny, 84 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy, and warm. Only 69 for the low. Wednesday, keeping it windy and warm. Lots of sunshine, 82. Here come showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms after midnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then slow clearing Thursday afternoon. It is dry for trick or treat. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's good to be with you. We are a week away from the big one, the big day. And we're talking about voting today. Of course, we're going to be talking about that for the rest of the week, leading into next week. Then we're going to be on the other side of it. Like, whatever you want to have happen, you can affect outcome right now by taking someone to go vote or to talking to someone why you're voting the way you are. And then after next week, whatever the results are, at least for some amount of time.
What is Wednesday going to be like in your head? If we walk in and have to go, well, President Kamala Harris is going to be addressing the nation, or President-elect Kamala Harris.
I don't know, because when Donald Trump won in 2016, I realized through the night when things started to turn a little bit and look like Donald Trump wins Pennsylvania or whatever it was that he won. And I remember thinking, well, don't tease me. And then as the night went on, we're like, is it possible he's actually going to win the election? Because we were at the radio station. I covered it with all the people when we were over at the Powerhouse, and I was the digital brand manager of the station. I had my weekend show. So I had been in the thick of it from a weekend standpoint, and then I was a support staff for the rest of the show or the station, and we slowly had our eyes open over the passing hours of the night. And at the end, I think at 2:00, Trump had come out, won something in the morning. Trump came out and kind of declared victory, and Hillary Clinton didn't come out, and John Podesta came out and he's like, everybody go home and get some rest. Like, yeah, okay. And then the next day, Donald Trump was president-elect. And then everybody was losing their mind and talking about impeachment and electors changing their votes and everything. I mean, how quickly we forget how much they did not accept the results of those elections from day one in 2016. And then in 2020, I stayed up till 3:00 in the morning watching results come in just like everyone else did. They were shutting down counting and everything. And I think at that time Trump was leading. And I just remember being on the live stream going, I don't feel very good about this. Like, I am not going to bed feeling good about this. I'm starting to feel really icky about it. And that ick feeling is still here in my heart. This very moment. I know what that felt like. And I'm taking that into the next one. I'm not going to get the ick. I have it. I would like to cleanse myself of it.
You'd like to have it washed. The moment I remember is not 2016 election night. I remember that too. I remember actually sitting in my parents' house because I wasn't working here yet. 2018 I started here.
Were you in other radio?
No, that was when I was doing TV. And I was doing national TV, so it wasn't, there was nothing for me to locally cover. I remember sitting in my parents' house watching the New York Times dial, the little ticker thing that goes either left or right. And all the big ones were going right. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the heck? This is New York Times. That was crazy. But it wasn't until January 20th of 2017, Inauguration Day, that I remember thinking, oh, this actually is going to be different. Because I was watching it at work, at the studio that I worked at, with a bunch of coworkers. I had no idea. I knew some of them were on the political scale because, you have your buddies that you talk to. The other ones, you're like, I have no idea what these people are thinking right now. I'm watching him give his inauguration speech. And usually that's where a president comes along and goes, it's time for me to be a president for Democrats and Republicans. He didn't say that. He didn't give a disunity speech. He just said the same things that he was saying in the campaign. He's like, look, we're going to build the wall. We're going to get this stupid economy running again. Stuff like that you're like, that's not usually what a president says on Inauguration Day.
And he said that stuff. And he did that stuff. And Joe Biden came in when he was elected, and he gave the unity baloney sausage speech, and we are now as divided, if not more divided, than we ever were when he first came into office.
Yes.
Do you want platitudes? Do you want somebody who makes you feel good inside, that you can snuggle up to like a soft little puppy and you love them? Or do you want somebody who says, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to make this happen? That's going to be the case. And then they come into the office, and instead of like giving you the soft, buttery stuff, they're like, let's get to freaking work. That's what Donald Trump did. And he never took the time to be like, oh, you American voters, I love all of you so much. He didn't do that because he doesn't.
I don't think he can do that.
He doesn't care in that capacity. He cares about the thing, the job that he's being sent there to do. Going back to what we played yesterday from Chris Cuomo, where Chris Cuomo is like, people who vote for Donald Trump are not the same as Donald Trump. They're sending Donald Trump into a dirty place to do a dirty job, and they want him to go be the kind of person who can get the job done in a dirty, dirty place. And I thought, wow, Chris Cuomo, you don't say. Kamala Harris sat down with Shannon Sharpe. What do you guys know about Shannon Sharpe?
Tight end, football player.
Yeah, football Americano. That's what I know. Shannon Sharpe, just iconic.
Did you know that Shannon Sharpe was a man?
Yeah, of course. Irish. Shannon.
Can't confirm or deny.
I think he was a tight end on the Broncos whenever they won those 2 Super Bowls back to back.
He has a podcast, and Kamala Harris.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Super into. Yes, I that's the only thing you didn't know.
I knew all about. Actually, I would have said Broncos. I wasn't sure. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play this like a joke.
Did you know he had a brother?
No.
Okay.
This sounds like a joke setup. But, okay.
No, his brother is
Kamala Harris goes on his
what we
podcast.
have to help people understand is, don't think you're in Donald Trump's club. You're not.
Right.
He's not going to be thinking about you. You think he's having you over for dinner?
Is Kamala Harris having us over for dinner?
That was my next question.
What? What? That doesn't even make sense. And I just want to point out here, Madam Vice President, when you talk about how Donald Trump's not having you over for dinner, Donald Trump has had thousands of people over for dinner at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, actually, that's what he's been doing for 4 years.
He literally has people over for dinner
all
at the regular. We know people who have gone over there to have dinner. Kamala Harris, who have you had dinner with? All I know about your dinners is that when you have dinners with other fancy, famous, or powerful people, you make your staff prepare you to make sure you know where the right forks are because you're nervous to have a sit-down dinner with other people. So Kamala Harris's plea in front of Shannon Sharpe about people who are looking at Donald Trump is to say you're not in the same club. He's not having you over for dinner. What the hell is that? That doesn't make any sense.
Even the larger point that she's making is that Trump is just not very identifiable, as if she is this person of the
unlike
people.
me, who grew up in a middle-class house.
Just connects with people on such
where
a
people
visceral
care
level.
about their lawns.
What is this? What is this thing that she's doing here in this clip where she goes, he's not going to have you over for dinner? Like, where does this come from? You want to talk about being in a club?
Part of what we have to help people understand is, don't think you're in Donald Trump's club. You're not.
Right.
You're not.
He's not going to be thinking about you. You think he's having you over for dinner?
Maybe he would have us for dinner.
I would go to have dinner with him before
I
I would
would
go to have dinner with her. And then there's this on black support.
Blacks for Trump. They feel that Trump is better for the black community. Can you explain Donald Trump's history with blacks? Where did this come that all of a sudden, it's been like this because a lot of people used to say, I'm...
Shannon Sharpe, who is a black man, can't even hardly say, why is it that black men are supporting Donald Trump? He can't get through the sentence because it's so difficult for these individuals to understand the idea that black people are not just a voting monolith, that they think individual. Go back to what we talked to with Kevin Schmidt earlier today. He's like, the issues that are facing voters, they seem to be very similar. No matter the skin color, they have a lot of the same concerns, and the government currently isn't meeting
Blacks for Trump. They feel that Trump is better for the black community. Can you explain Donald Trump's history with blacks? Where did this come that all of a sudden, it's been like this because a lot of people used to say, I'm Donald Trump of the ghetto because he was, for a lot of blacks, not all, but for some blacks, he was Madam VP, whether we want to admit it or not, he's revered by some blacks.
But here's the thing. The question for everybody, should he be president of the United States?
Okay.
Right? That's the question.
She doesn't say any of the last consonants on words. Anyway.
Should he have the ability to sit behind the seal of the President of the United States when he says he wants to terminate the Constitution of the United States? You know what that would mean? In the Constitution of the United States is your Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable search and seizure, your Fifth Amendment right, your Sixth Amendment right to an attorney.
Well, a lot of rights going to be gone. The First Amendment.
But the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. Yes. Look, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I don't believe we should be taking anybody's guns away.
Yeah, you actually said you should. You actually said you would. And also, if you listen to Kamala Harris, but you pretend she's the drunk bridesmaid giving the toast, then it makes a lot more sense.
The question for everybody, should he be president of the United States?
Should he even be the groom of this bride? Let me tell you a few things about that. He doesn't believe in watching The Bachelor. He doesn't believe that there should be Taco Tuesday. I don't even think he's the right guy. He's not having you over for dinner.
Listen. I was going to give a certain speech about the bride tonight. And here's that speech.
Preach, Kamala.
You got me going on Donald Trump now. And now I can talk about Donald Trump. Now, I got a great dinner tonight.
You imagine seeing her at a party like that, or like if she's the drunk bridesmaid, where she's got her drink in her hand that she's so far into the night that she doesn't even drink it anymore. She just bumps into people and spills it on people and says inappropriate things or things that don't make sense. That like it sounds like she's continuing the conversation from the last people she was talking to with the next people in the room.
And then is distracted by, are those sliders?
Yeah.
Come back here. I'm going
to grab some
of
I
shrimp.
like to cook, right? That's all I know about her. She likes to cook.
The weird argument that she's making is that can you imagine this guy being the president of the United States? What in the world would that be like?
The Constitution of the United States. And listen, I know people allege that she drinks. I have no idea if she drinks anything.
Yeah,
I have no idea, but that's what it sounds like.
Right there, it does.
And she's sitting here talking to Shannon Sharp, who is famous because he was an athlete and is a sports commentator or whatever. Good that she's going on the podcast. I don't care that she's on the podcast.
I'm glad she's doing interviews.
I don't care that she's there. We can get more opportunity to hear from her, learn about her, or whatever. But every time she goes out, she fortifies the thing that I thought about her before. And that's that she detests Donald Trump. If she had the substance, I said this earlier in the show, if she had the substance, if she had the answer to earn your vote, you would know exactly what that answer is. Because that would be the thing she's harping on the entire time through her campaign. And all it is Trump bad. And people are like, Trump may be bad, but Kamala Harris, your economy is worse. Trump may be bad, but what you've done to our southern border, Kamala Harris, is worse. Trump may be bad, but what you've done to our free speech rights, you've censored our ability to have our own thoughts and opinions. You have labeled Christians as domestic terrorists. What you have done over and over and over again, Kamala Harris, in the administration that you are currently serving in the White House is worse. Because what I remember about when Donald Trump was the president of the United States, things were better. Donald Trump might not be the greatest man of all time. The G-man. He may not be the most pure, upstanding, completely polished politician that's ever walked the face of the earth. But you aren't either. You aren't that either. You don't have that to offer the voters. What does Kamala Harris have to offer the voters? She's got nothing. A very, very flawed man in Donald Trump who doesn't put himself out there as if he isn't flawed. He is aware of his flaws, and I would say this is one of his flaws. He doesn't really apologize for them. But what's the sense in going out and apologizing to everybody all the time when you've had billions of dollars and a priceless lapdog media that has made it their point to make sure that people who, at this point, I'm kind of wondering, like, it's kind of like small-minded, to only view Donald Trump through the way that the media has programmed you to think of Donald Trump. Your hatred, your disdain for this person is manufactured. You've been programmed to only think about him as somebody who is evil, and you've discarded the facts that he's actually been good for America. And your heart and your feelings and your emotions have overtaken your mental capacity to process real factual data and information. And you're going to go out and vote for Kamala Harris because she doesn't make you feel as bad as scary Donald Trump? No.
That in that one clip, she's such a hypocrite. She talks about the amendments to the Constitution.
The First Amendment.
She talks about the First Amendment. She talks about the second one. I think she jumps to the fourth one, and she talks about unreasonable search and seizures. She talks about the Sixth Amendment. The sixth, just that one. All the other ones, she's on record as saying the opposite thing of what she's saying now. The sixth one, her administration is currently holding people from 4 years ago for political purposes from January 6th, which they are currently using as a campaign strategy and not giving them a trial. She is breaking the Constitution as she says, my predecessor and possible next president will do this. I won't.
Let's go back to the First Amendment. It was her administration. It was the administration she was part of that tried to create that Ministry of Truth that actively worked
It's the most Orwellian thing in the history of time.
Actively worked. Her administration's FBI actively worked with social media companies to suppress and remove information that was not beneficial to their party. They didn't think about doing it. They did it. Missouri's currently in a lawsuit with them over this sort of thing. They actively took away First Amendment rights from people. They actively did it. And then she's like, also, I'm for the Second Amendment. You are not. You are not. You own a Glock. Woo. Guns for me, not for thee. I don't buy it, Kamala. You've said that people don't need assault weapons. You've always been about assault weapons ban. She said, I'm not for confiscation. I'm for a mandatory buyback. That's called a compensated confiscation. You, as the gun owner, don't have a choice. They're like, give me your gun, and I'll give you some money just to make it not feel so bad. That's a confiscation. It doesn't matter if you call it a buyback or not. You're taking it without me having the choice of doing it.
Oh, by the way, that's also an unreasonable seizure.
Yeah, there you go.
So you're breaking another amendment by doing it.
But Donald Trump's the threat? Donald Trump's the threat. He's the one that's going after the Constitution.
You and I are coming back in the next segment, and here's what we're going to talk about.
Hey, you keep going. I'm just listening, and I'm like, yeah.
But he said you got to suspend the Constitution.
Donald Trump's going to do all this stuff that we're doing.
I mean, but to sum all of this up, they're not okay.
No.
If you look at
I'm not okay right now.
I know that, but if you look at all of the people who are reacting right now to this moment, people know that Kamala is not okay. They know it. And people are, for whatever particular reason, moving towards Donald Trump. And the early voting numbers look good for the Republican Party. I've said this before. I'm going to say this probably every day leading up to the election. If you have 100 voters and 90 of those voters are going to now early vote instead of vote on Election Day, and only 10 voters show up on Election Day, you still have 100 votes. So I'm not going to get too excited. Folks, you don't come here for just overt optimism. That's not, you got the wrong show. Realism. And I think realistically, things are looking up. It's nice to feel a little bit of hope. And I'm like, Hope, I've acknowledged you. Now you go sit in the corner. I know where you are. I'll come get you when it's time.
I can see you over there. You look pretty.
Yeah, you just sit still.
Yeah, but you wait.
Turn around and face the wall. Quick break. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
All right, Ruler Foods is there to help you make sure that you save when you shop at Ruler Foods for your grocery bill. You want to make sure that every time you fill your cart that you do so with confidence, that you can afford it. That matters, doesn't it? When you shop at Ruler Foods, you're going to save generally speaking, all of the time. If you go to rulerfoods.com, you are so difficult. When you go to rulerfoods.com, you're going to be able to see the ad that has the special savings. If you don't know, Ryan is doing like a jig behind me while I'm talking to you about Ruler Foods, which is generally speaking the live endorsement that I do, and when I end up saying really, really dumb things. So stop putting the pressure on me. Campbell's soup or cream of soups, 10 for $10 right now. Chef Boyardee pasta. My kids love Chef Boyardee pasta. Armor lunch makers, also 10 for $10. Hunt's pasta sauce, 10 for $10. Stock up on that pasta sauce. Get some of that great Kroger pasta. Stock the shelves up. It's going to last forever. And through the winter months, you're going to have really affordable groceries in your pantry, and you're going to have delicious meals on your table. Make sure that you don't let the grocery prices get you down. Work with Ruler Foods to have them delivered directly to your door. You can get delivery as well. You can also find the location that's closest to you by going to rulerfoods.com.
Weather can be unpredictable nowadays, but your local news station on the free Odyssey app has got you covered. Whether you need an umbrella, windbreaker, or an extra layer, or two, we'll let you know. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station to listen on your smartphone or ask your smart speaker to play it before you head out the door. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-age children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this, durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Republican Adam Schnelting is a husband, father, and a soldier. As an Army combat engineer, Schnelting is trained to fight for us. He's trained to solve problems. As state representative, Adam fought to keep men out of our daughters' bathrooms and sports. He voted to cut our taxes and fully fund our schools. He led the charge in Missouri to secure our border and address the fentanyl crisis. He even earned the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Adam Schnelting for State Senate.
I'm Adam Schnelting, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Schnelting for Missouri, Mike Summer, Treasurer.
Have you ever been told you can't get into the water for 30 minutes after eating because you can cramp up and drown? And then you were told if you eat watermelon seeds, you're going to grow a watermelon in your stomach. Swallowing gum it'll stay in your stomach for 7 years. Don't sit too close to the TV or you'll go blind. Wow, these aren't your peers saying this is your, people you're counting on that you believe and you trust. Or the air conditioning that we have now isn't good enough for you, so you need to do this. I don't know, guys. If you have questions, you have doubts, and you want common sense approach to, heating and cooling your home affordably, call me, Bart Inman, one real easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165. 65.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Hey Alexa, hey Siri, play 97.1 FM Talk. Available on your smart speaker any time of day. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The preacher man says it's the end of time, and the Mississippi River, she's a going dry.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Interest is up and the
Follow
stock
Annie on
market's
Twitter
down,
at
and you
Annie
only
Fry
get
Show.
mugged if you go downtown.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. YouTube live chat poll. Go get your votes in now. We're going to give you the results in 23 minutes. 23 minutes. That's about right. When will you vote? You've already early voted. That's what Brad said. You plan to early vote. You're going to vote on Election Day. I think that's what Ryan and I both said. Or you're not voting at all. I wonder if people are going to vote in today's poll that they're not voting at all.
That would be ironic.
Thanks for saying it in a really sarcastic way. We talked in the last segment about Kamala Harris being on Shannon Sharp's podcast. There are a few other clips that we can play from that, but how much of the Joe Rogan Trump podcast did you guys listen to?
You know what's weird is I listened to a decent amount of it through clips, but I really read about it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why I chose to take it in that way.
I'm a little over halfway through it. I've been listening on 1.5 speed, and that helps me get through it a little bit quicker.
Yeah. I've listened to 35 minutes of it, and then I had to live life.
Can I tell you why I knew it was a good interview? Because reading about it all day Sunday, I couldn't really find anybody quoting something really negative or crazy. It was, and that's 3 hours of talking.
Yeah.
Of sit down straight talking.
Yes. No commercials or whatever. It is just straight talking. As far as I know. I mean, does they do breaks at all on Rogan?
No.
I don't think they did either. So it is just conversation constant, which I don't know how you do for 3 hours, but the mainstream media outlets had to cover it because it was a big deal, and they could not find an angle, which means all the headlines were Trump blathers for 3 hours.
Yep. And said the same thing that they don't like to begin with. Joe Rogan commented on an X post because people were asking, like, is Kamala Harris going to do Rogan's podcast? Is she going to do it? Is she going to do it? Well, it turns out that the Harris campaign, there were reports yesterday, I think, that Joe Rogan said, I'm not doing an interview with you. That Joe Rogan turned Kamala Harris down. That's not accurate. That's not exactly what happened. Joe Rogan wrote on an X post, also, for the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered, this is the Harris campaign, offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is just to have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen. And that was last night at 11:26 p.m. So that's pretty fresh. So you've got a scenario here where Joe Rogan is saying, I'll do it, but I'm going to do it on the same terms that I did it with Donald Trump. We're going to do it in my studio, in my house, because that's kind of the way this works. Like, again, going back to what I said multiple times earlier on the show, Kamala Harris is constantly sticking her hand out to shake hands with new people saying, it's so nice for you to meet me. Kamala Harris needs to go where the people are, and the people are on the Joe Rogan Experience. That is the truth of the matter. How many? 36 million? I wonder what the total is up to right now on the Donald Trump Joe Rogan episode. It's reached 30-something million people. And Kamala Harris is like, only on these terms. That is so disrespectful, not to Joe Rogan, but to the people who listen to Joe Rogan, who she wants to access. It's not Joe Rogan. Listen, when people come and talk to me on this much, much smaller and less influential media product than Joe Rogan. When people come on the Annie Fry show, when Kevin Schmidt is coming into studio earlier on the show, he's trying to replicate his victory in 2022. Kevin Schmidt's working his ass off in the 114th state district in the state of Illinois. He's talking to people. He's canvassed the whole thing. When he comes on to this show, he's not coming on to see me. He's coming on to talk to you. I am a mechanism with which he can reach people. Yes, I have the platform, but I am not the thing of value here. You are the thing of value. And the only way that I can do a successful radio show is that if I always remember that you are the thing of value. My job, my purpose in life on this show is to serve you, is to provide you with informative, entertaining ways to pass 3 hours in the afternoon. If I disrespect you and I make this whole thing about me, you are so not going to listen to me anymore. You're going to change the station. If you've ever listened to somebody on the radio, if you've ever been interested in a personality on the radio and maybe they've been there for a long time and then it starts to feel like it's a little bit more about them and a little bit less about you, those people are usually on their way to retirement and they're just kind of, they're going until it doesn't go anymore. But the difference in that passion, the understanding that the gift of the opportunity to have a microphone or a platform is to communicate with real people who really matter. Kamala Harris is basically setting up a scenario where either A, she doesn't have to do it and it doesn't happen at all, or B, the power move to say, I'm only going to do a third of what Donald Trump did and you're going to have to come to me. So disrespectful to the Joe Rogan Experience listeners.
It's true because you have the dichotomy of the former president doing it right now. And people going, look, she's the vice president of the United States. She's more important than you are, Joe Rogan. You can't go to her. She's in a campaign. The president of the United States is also in a campaign, the former president. So that's a stupid comparison, first of all. And then second, Joe Rogan, call her out. She's not going to do this thing. Say whatever. Like Joe should say, yeah, okay, you name the time and the place. We'll see if we can make it work. And I guarantee you that campaign is going to go, shoot, that time won't work. And then it'll get shorter and shorter. It'll become a half hour. This isn't going to happen.
She doesn't want to do it.
No way she wants to do this.
She shortened the interview with Brett Baer.
And showed up late.
And they cut it off early.
That's exactly what'll happen here.
If she sent, because that way she gets to control the time. If things go bad, they're like, oh man, this came up, we got to go. And she could just bail on them, which would be an disaster for her. So like the best case scenario for her is to not have to do it and then make it look like he wouldn't do it.
Have you seen the people on I watched, there was an episode that Joe Rogan uploaded after the Trump, and it was him and his buddies or whoever, probably his producers or something, talking about the Trump interview. They were reacting to it and they were going hard on Kamala Harris. They were not saying flattering things, and most of it is because they were saying about Donald Trump, like, he sat there for 3 hours and had a conversation. They said at one point, I think Rogan said, he didn't even get up to pee.
That's what's impressive.
Like, he just sat there for 3 hours and they had a conversation and it flowed, and it, there was no like, all right, at this time we're going to talk about this and then we're going to move to this subject. It was just a conversation. And when I was listening to it, I said I listened to about the first 35 minutes. Donald Trump gave like a detailed history of Abraham Lincoln. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, like, I don't really need to know this stuff for the election, but I'm pretty impressed that you know this much stuff about Abraham Lincoln.
And it's weird to say this about retelling history, but it's a new item. It's not the same thing that you've heard him do at this podcast and this speech and this rally. He's just there spitballing and giving you new elements of who Donald Trump is.
Yeah.
That's why the depth alternative media right now is so important, because he does a rally at Madison Square Garden. He does Joe Rogan Experience. Again, watching these things through the lens of mainstream media, people are up in arms about whatever they can find. And with the Joe Rogan thing, they couldn't really find anything. But that's so many people. You said it was 36 million people or
Ethan
plus?
reported to us. He said he watched pretty much the entire thing. We're going to ask Ethan about that in the next segment because he's going to give us the poll results. But he said 38 million views right now on YouTube. They put it on Twitter last night at 11:21 p.m. It's got 8.8 million views now there.
So that's doing math roughly. That's about
46,
50.
47
That's about 15% of the entire U.S. population has watched that interview, and that includes non-voting age children. So
they don't have to be in America.
Well, that's true, but that's a lot of people to watch one podcast.
Yeah, listen, if you're going to go on Shannon Sharp's podcast because you want to reach people, Joe Rogan has more people. Let's take a quick break. Ethan will come in and give us the results at the end of the next segment to the YouTube live chat poll. When will you vote? Go tell us on our Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Have you already voted? Do you plan to early vote? Are you going to vote on Election Day or you're not voting at all? We'll be right back.
Good old tomatoes and homemade wine.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show.
Country folks can survive. Because you can't starve us out.
Stewart's American Mortgage, they're the Bagel Loan people. Stewie's the Bagel Loan guy. And Stewie is there to make sure that your mortgage process, whether it's a brand new mortgage or the refinance of a mortgage, that it is incredibly smooth, simple, and fast. Did you know that he can close in less than 2 weeks? And that the Bagel Loan, here's why you use the Bagel Loan, which is only available at Stewart's American Mortgage, because you pay zero in closing costs. You're going to go to Stewie. You're going to call him or text him right now at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. And with Stewie, you're going to talk to him about your situation. You're looking to lower your current rate on your mortgage because you just got it in the last year and they've come down a bit. You need to buy a new house and you want to be the most aggressive buyer you can. So why not save thousands of dollars and not have to pay closing costs? Stewie at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, and tell him Annie sent you. You can Google the Bagel Loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office.
But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan from McKelvey Homes. This month, we're giving $18,980 off our homes in selected communities to celebrate 126 years of legendary quality and craftsmanship. In addition, our skilled craftsmen from the Mid-America Carpenters Union are offering McKelvey buyers up to $10,000 cash towards their new home for closing costs or lower interest rates. Combine these two incredible offers and save big on your McKelvey home. But hurry, this rare opportunity won't last long. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Grillmaster Tony's cooking up a spooky special for your October. Mark Cox here. How about brisket chili with beans for 10 people, 10 pounds of pre-smoked jumbo wings, 4 pounds of pulled pork, the slider buns, the St. Louis-style sauce, just $225 for 10 people. He's also going to have some specials coming up for Thanksgiving Thanksgiving celebrations, and those will be online soon. You can order right now from Grillmaster Tony. Just go to grillmastertony.com.
We've been talking about it. We've given our answers to this poll. When will you vote is what we want to know. Already early voted, plan to early vote, election day, or not voting. That is your 4 options for when will you vote. And we'd like to know. We're going to give you the results of this poll in less than 10 minutes before the end of the show here at 3 o'clock. YouTube live chat poll. Type in Annie Fry on YouTube and it will come up. 246. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon back from Houston. Been off for a few days. A lot to say here after Fox News at 3. We get rolling in just a matter of minutes. I haven't even weighed in on the Madison Square Garden rally. I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast. We got a lot coming up here for 3 hours in just a few minutes.
Recipe. This is a love attack. I know when our body's back, it's just like any fat. It retracts before impact, and just like fashion, it's a passion.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. We're going to get to the YouTube live chat poll results here in a minute at the end of the show. So go vote right now and tell us, when will you vote? Did you already early vote? Do you plan to early vote? You going to vote on Election Day, or you're not voting at all? Go give us a vote in that poll. It's located on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Ethan, you said that. Did you say you watched the whole thing?
Pretty much.
The whole Trump Joe Rogan interview?
Yes.
And what was your takeaway from that?
It was so well done. So well done. I think that it was, Joe Rogan did an excellent job. We finally got to see Donald Trump be in a extended period interview where he wasn't on the full defense.
That really matters too.
We've talked a lot about getting to know him as a person, and I think we saw a lot of what people talk about when they see Donald Trump behind the scenes in that podcast. He was funny. He definitely had some remarks and stuff, like some passive aggressive remarks against Kamala and different people, but it was funny. The job that Rogan did interviewing him, I thought was really good, especially at the beginning when he was asking about, okay, what was it like when you first got there? And Trump did not really answer the question 2 or 3 times in a row when he asked, and he wasn't saying it in a rude way or cutting him off. He was allowing him to speak, but he was making sure that Trump understood the question that he was trying to ask. They covered so many different topics, things that matter to Americans. I thought that it was very well done, and I'm looking forward to, at some point, they kind of teased, like Trump said, that he would come back on to talk about everything involving the 2020 election. Ooh. And when he said that, I was like, oh man, that would be awesome to hear that too. So
one of the things early on in the interview, at least this is the part that I heard, was Trump was talking about kind of that lead into him winning the election and becoming the president of the United States. And Joe Rogan made some comment about how Trump gets the headlines or whatever. And Trump starts talking about, he's like, I just say things and people pay attention. He goes, I don't know why the media is obsessed with me. And Joe Rogan goes, it's because you say crazy crap. He didn't say crap. But I thought, he's not really calling out Donald Trump, but he is acknowledging that Trump, you say some whack stuff sometimes, and not whack necessarily as in right versus wrong, but just who says that out loud? What politician comes onto the main stage and talks like that? In 2016, we hadn't seen it before. And it really is something to behold, to look at how successfully Donald Trump was able to come in as a non-politician and one by one pick off all of those very, very long-term politicians and somehow become the nominee. It's pretty crazy.
It's stuff like when he spoke to the Black Journalist Conference and said, she kind of has changed her race. People have said that, about Kamala. You're like, that's headline news.
Yeah.
And with any other politician, it's probably the end of their career. with him, he's like, yeah, I mean, that. And then you find out, that's what's crazy. You find out later when you listen to an MSNBC panel of black female voters, they go, yeah, when he said that really resonated with me. And you're like, what? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the responses so far to what I think is the polls, and when you're watching people in the media react to the current moment of time we're in, yeah, we can all look at polls, we can see what the polls say, we can pay attention to all that, but then you see people like Whoopi Goldberg reacting in this moment in time, and it makes you feel a certain kind of way as to how this election is going.
Talking about you, it's us. He's not going to, say, oh, you're with a white guy, I'm going to keep you from being deported. No, he's going to deport you and put the white guy with someone else. The man is out there. He's also,
she just said that Donald Trump is going to separate people who are in interracial marriages so that he could put white people with white people.
I was wondering if that's what I was hearing, because I didn't get the context of what she was talking about.
The deportation comments that Donald Trump is making about being willing to deport people. Listen, if you came here illegally and you are here illegally, that's a you thing. Now, what happens next? I understand that what happens next is going to be heartbreaking for some people. But at the same time, I would look at the Democrats that are in charge right now. If you're somebody who's been here for years and years and years and years and decades of years, and this Biden-Harris camp has just let in a whole bunch of people, millions of people, who really, even since Obama, they kind of spoiled the whole thing for you. If you've been here, if you're one of the people at the sub stories, when we talk about abortion, we only talk about rape, incest, and the life of the mother. Those are the only abortions that are happening, even though it's like 4% of the abortions that are happening.
I didn't even think it was that high.
It's teeny, teeny, tiny, which is why I always say, okay, for the sake of argument, let's allow those babies to be murdered, and let's save the other 94%, 95% of babies that are out there that are being killed for the sake of birth control. With immigration, there are the people who are just flooding here because they were told that they could come. They just were told that they could come. They, in some cases, probably don't even think they're really doing anything wrong because they say that Biden told them to come. It's happening. The Biden administration made an app for them to use. The Biden administration has sent planes for them to fly in from their home and dropped them into the middle of the country. So they probably don't entirely think that they are really that much in the wrong. Well, that's on the Democrats. That's not on the Republicans. The idea of America can't be attained if this is the way that we treat and disrespect our country. And if you're somebody here, the story we're going to hear over and over and over is, I've been here for 40 years. I raised my family here. I was brought here as a child. Well, you better put all of the responsibility on breaking the opportunity that you had to potentially earn legal status through Obama's DACA program that somehow Donald Trump actually supported it in a way. You almost had the opportunity to get a legal status here, and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have ruined the whole thing for you because it's like in the 60s or 70% of people who are like, they need to be deported.
Yeah.
That's not the way it was.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden ruined it for all of the people who might have been able to gain some sort of legal status. In my mind, for those stories, maybe there is a legal status that can be applied with the requirement that would be a greater requirement that anybody who's in line right now to become a citizen, that maybe if you have legal status here, maybe you can attain citizenship here. But if you're somebody who is here illegally and have been granted legal status because of some, DACA requirements, because you've been here since you were a child and it wasn't your choice to come here, if those people get legal status and want to become citizens, they need to twice over prove that they understand the value of citizenship. But they don't deserve it.
It's a really good point that I've not heard anybody make, that the country used to be pretty split on this, pretty compassionate on the Dreamers issue, and saying, look, we got to follow the law, but I get these people's position. That has been destroyed now.
Completely. The Biden-Harris camp has unified America in a way they have not been unified over this issue, to say, no, we need to start over. It's gone too far. You took it too far. And it's going to ruin the party for everybody who was involved.
Yeah, that percentage of people who are pro-deportation at this point is almost as high as the people who are pro-voter ID. It's become bipartisan issues is what I'm saying.
It's pretty wild. You want to give us the poll results today? Oh, wait, Ethan, when are you going to vote?
I am planning on Early voting.
Early
That's the
voting.
plan.
So between now and before Election Day.
That's the plan.
All right. But you'll vote on Election Day if you didn't do it beforehand.
That's the plan.
Yes, you will.
That's the plan.
I'll
yes.
drive you there myself. Where are we going?
YouTube live chat poll. When will you vote? 42% have already early voted. Let's go. We love seeing that. 23% say, 22% now say they plan to early vote, 34% on Election Day, and only 2% say not voting. 387 votes today on the YouTube live chat.
2% of 388 people said, I'll vote in this poll, but not the election. Come on. You know you want to vote for Donald Trump. Get out there and do it. Thank you for voting. Thank you for listening to the Annie Fry Show. We're so grateful for the opportunity to talk to you each afternoon. Would you do me a favor? Would you tell somebody about our show? Would you share this election season with somebody, the Annie Fry Show? I'd be so grateful. The Mark Reardon Show, too, because it's coming up next.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp data bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough